full, they come out here into the track. Our track pack has got plenty of tyres to pack that track down, and what a hard night it's going to have tonight. We'll go through some of our additions and withdrawals if you're keeping your program up to date. Firstly, in the front of your program, the street sedans. One to add.
Well, good evening everyone and welcome to Maryborough Speedway for round one of the Withcott Seedlings Trackwell Bodyworks Modified Production Series for this year. And with me, one of the major sponsors of the series, Mr. Withcott Seedlings himself, Graham Earhart. Graham, welcome to Maryborough Speedway.
Thanks, Paul. It's great to be here tonight. It's great to be once again a major sponsor of the Withcott Seedlings. This will be the third year, and now we have Trevor Racco from Trackwell Bodybuilders in Gympie come along as a major sponsor as well. The series looks like it's going to go to great heights. We got terrific nominations here of 33 cars, which is really double what we had last year. I don't know the answer to that. Toowoomba next weekend we have 32, 33 cars again. I think the answer's got to be the television coverage. It is a great class. I believe it's one of the best classes in the country of any division of motorsport. It's very competitive. It's but based around basic production type cars rather than completely built from the ground cars, and that's really good. So the racing is really seat of the pants type racing.
Yes, indeed, and for those people who might be new to modified production racing, just stay tuned because you are in for some great action from these guys. Panel rubbing right throughout the entire night. Behind us we have the beautifully prepared Withcott Seedlings Commodore, and driving the car tonight is Peter Lack. Peter, welcome to Maryborough.
Thank you, it's good to be here again.
Okay, we're going to put you right on the spot here. This car behind you, Graham drove last year to a win in this series at this track. What's the plans for tonight with a new driver?
Same deal. No, we'll do the best we can in the car. You know, the car's a brilliant car. It suits the track here. Graham's proved that last year, and we'll try and do exactly the same again this year. You know, we've tested through the car this week and made sure everything's right. We've done everything we possibly can, so we're going to do the best job we can tonight too.
Have you raced here before, Peter?
I have done so in a speed car, and we've done well here too in a speed car as well, so I can't wait. I really love the track and I just can't wait to get out there.
And of course next week back on your home track in Toowoomba.
Yeah, there again we hope to do the same deal, you know, have a good run. You know, home knowledge is going to help, so we're going to give it our best shot this year, so we're looking forward to it.
All the best.
Okay.
With me now, the other half of the Withcott Seedlings Trackwell Motor Bodybuilders Modified Production Series, the second sponsor of our series, Trevor Racco. Trevor, welcome to Maryborough.
Thank you, Paul.
Trevor, tell us why you want to be involved with Modified Productions.
Probably some of the greatest racing you'll see around Australia, I reckon, in Modified Productions.
And tonight?
Some bloody good racing out here tonight, I reckon. Good roll-up, good crowd, good cars. Looking forward to seeing them.
Trevor, tell us what your thoughts on tonight on this track at Maryborough.
Geez, it's looking good. That's about all I can say from what I've seen of it so far.
You got any favourites you'll be following tonight?
No, it's very hard to say. I think the competition's going to be very close out here.
Of course, one car, we should tell the viewers, one car that Trevor will be following will be Son's car, just parked over on the side there, which for our uninitiated is a street sedan. And young John will be behind the wheel of that, so I'm sure Dad will be right behind and driving along with John. But Trevor, thank you very much for your help with this series. All the best with the series, and I hope we have a great night tonight.
Thank you, Paul. Looks forward to some good racing.
An ad, Michael Halley. From the rear of the field, car number 98, 10 laps the journey. The lights have gone out straight away. This is the Withcott Seedlings Trackwell Modified Production Challenge, round number one. Right here at Maryborough Speedway, the action will come thick and fast right from the beginning. Here we go and away when racing. Into turn number one, plenty of action down low as here comes Greg Raymond up the inside. Meanwhile, Steve Jordan has said, catch me if you can, fellas, and has disappeared in the distance through turn number four. Next behind him, Greg Schultz. We go back to Errol Baldwin. Gary Brown would be the next car, number two, right on the outside is Peter Lack. In inside of him. Down on the inside of Greg Raymond he goes. We go back to Andy Gippert. Neil Craig going backwards through the field. Car number 1, the Queensland champion of Russell Baldry. Back in the race lead, car number 22, Steve Jordan. There's a whole bunch of cars lined up behind Errol Baldwin. No room for error. Here goes Gary Brown, the big move. Round the outside he goes. As Steve Jordan, Greg Schultz the next one through. Gary Brown gets clear. Errol Baldwin would be the next one. Greg Raymond. Peter Lack looks for a way underneath. Can't get there. Then we've got Andy Gibbard in trouble as Russell Baldry goes by. So does Neil Craig. Andy Gibbard got some problems with the car. Looks like the front end of the car has collapsed. And he'll pull it onto the infield as Steve Jordan continues on his winning way. Michael Halley on the infield as well. Steve Jordan, what a big lead he's got. Back to Greg Schultz. Rapidly being pulled in by Gary Brown. Into a close third position, a long way back to Errol Baldwin. Holding on to position number 3. Here comes Peter Lack around the outside. It's the brave move from Peter Lack. Will it work? Greg Raymond looks down the inside. They move Errol Baldwin offline. Russell Baldry comes through too. There's a bit of a miss and a bang. And we got cars going everywhere. The yellow lights are on. Errol Baldwin was holding them at bay, got offline. Everybody wanted to go underneath. No doubt about the race leader, the Blackburn Performance Engines car.
Of Andy Gippard's car. The front wheel is pointing out towards the crowd at the moment, and he's pretty philosophical about it, but it looks like that his race is run for the moment. And also Michael Halley has a broken tail shaft in the hands of the tow truck in the main straight. Back to you now, Paul.
Thanks, Peter. We're away and racing again, and now they're all bunched up. Steve Jordan, Gary Brown right on his hammer. This time Greg Schultz is the next one. They're still lining up behind Errol Baldwin. One getting into trouble up on the fence, Matt Pascoe. It's up there in the loose stuff, nowhere to go, and up on the concrete for Matt Pascoe. Errol Baldwin is the next car in front of Greg Raymond and Peter Lack as the lights have gone out. We're going racing again. Good start from Steve Jordan. Leads from Gary Brown in car number 2, and they skip straight away from Greg Schultz, who holds on to 3rd place, and Errol Baldwin has got them all lined up again behind him. The action's up the front. Peter Lack says to Greg Raymond, move out of the road, fella, here I come. Right back up at the front, it's Steve Jordan. Gary Brown chasing him. Back to Greg Schultz, they can't stay with him. Next one is Errol Baldwin as around the outside goes Peter Lack. Up into position number 4, Raymond goes with him this time. Gets it up a little high, Neil Craig threads the needle. As the checkered flag is shown to car number 22. Steve Jordan takes out heat number 1. Gary Brown into position number 2, and Greg Schultz, it would have been out of Brisbane, holding on position number 3. That's heat number 1 of the Whitcott Seedlings Trackwell Motor Bodybuilding Modified Production Series.
With me now is the current Queensland champion, Russell Baldry. Russell, welcome to Maryborough.
Thanks, Paul. It's great to be here.
Russell, not competed so far to any great extent in the series, but this year, all out in an effort to win it?
Yeah, we're going to be trying to compete at every round. At this stage, we are going to compete at every round, so hopefully we can do very well and hopefully win the series, because like you said, I haven't really had a go at the series before, and I really want to have a go this year.
Okay, plans for tonight. Maryborough is known for its slickness. It's going to be tough. What are your plans for tonight?
Hopefully there's a lot of cars here tonight, which is good to see for the category, but hopefully I can do well during the heats start up the front, and hopefully I can just drive sensibly, controllable, and hopefully I can be at the front by the end.
As you can see, he's wearing Queensland 1, so he's no slouch. Good luck tonight, Russell.
Thanks, Paul.
We'll see you at the checkered flag.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks very much, Peter. And young Andy Gabbett out of the Sunshine Coast is having the car removed via the tow truck. Matt Pascoe, he and Boccia Mazda also being pushed away. No, they're going to leave him on the infield and get this heat underway. We'll run quickly through the starters. Warren Hooper is there in car number 19 along with Steve Price. Brad Stein from the South Burnett is the next one. Troy Brittle, Neil Lewis, Brian Leroy, Colin Munn, Darren White, Travis Barron, Ed Pearson and Shane Skeen. Brand new motor car right at the tail of the field. The lights are out. We're going racing straight away. A very sedate start. There's a green one and away we go. Warren Hooper in the Shoreline Transport car does battle with Steve Price. Heaves him out of the road as they head down the back chute, and Steve Price right out of harm's way, right up against the fence, and he'll go right to the tail of the field. Warren Hooper in the Shoreline Transport car is the race leader in front of car number 6. That's Brad Stein. In the Clifford Street Autos Cortina, the next one, the CW Transport car, Troy Brittle, as Steve Price, having all sorts of problems with the car, wanders onto the infield. But Warren Hooper leads them. A merry dance, looks like a broken axle for car number 3 on the infield and out of harm's way. Warren Hooper leads them. A merry dance in car number 19, Brad Stein. Troy Brittle walking away underneath. Just about moved him offline now. Troy Brittle will move up into position number 2. Car number 6, the Corvette Queensland car of the Brian Leroy, wants a bit of the action as well. Looking for a way under Brad Stein as they head down the main straightaway. Plenty of if and barge. Out of the modified productions is Neil Lewis now. There's Brad Stein. On a bit of this as well. Car number 5 trying to get up there with them. There's Darren White. We've lost Colin Munn, who's got some front end problems with the car and has pulled up along the back straightaway. So that'll bring on a yellow light. It looks like Colin Munn front end damage to the car as well. Plenty of biff and barge in amongst the competitors in the main field this time round. As they line up behind Brad Stein, Neil Lewis was in there as well. Miss Barron in 31. We're going racing again as the lights are out. Warren Hooper a bit slow to get going. Now he's got underway. Warren Hooper. Troy Brittle gets a little offline. Brian Leroy tucks the nose underneath. Brad Stein would be the next one. Back then to Neil Lewis. Darren White. Through turn number 4 and up the main straight away goes. Warren Hooper gets a little bit wide on turn number 1. Troy Brittle doing battle back there in position 2 with Brian Leroy. Brad Stein would be the next one. Neil Lewis is hammering away at the back there looking for a better position. Then we go to Darren White. Back then to Eddie Pearson in car number 4. Flat tyre it is for Travis Barron, and he'll have to withdraw from the event. Plenty of action down the back chute as Neil Lewis gets offline. Here comes Darren White. Getting offline too is Troy Brittle with a little bit of help from Brian Leroy, but Leroy's back into the second position. Around the outside comes Brad Stein, Troy Brittle and Bradley Stein, door handle to door handle. Warren Hooper, the race leader, in front of Brian Leroy. Back to Bradley Stein, who's got back into position number 2 in front of Troy Brittle. The next one there, Darren White. Neil Lewis a long way back to Eddie Pearson and Shane Skeen. Right up high and out of harm's way, and all making up a big mistake right at the end. Warren Hooper. Warren Hooper getting into all sorts of trouble in the last corner, and I think you'll find Travis Barron will have to come and talk to the steward after ignoring flags. Brian Leroy has got home in position number 1. after second round of heats. Warren Hooper into position number 2. Hang on a moment.
Bottom corner with damage around the front end.
Sid Whittaker will line up out of pole in this one. That's the CJ Performance Motors car from Caboolture. We'll be able to bring you the official results of that last heat very shortly. Stewart's conferring. Outside, starting out of position number 2, and there'll be a man to watch, Todd Doyle, the Redford's Better electrical car out of Gympie. Steve Collins is car number 43 from the East Coast. That's the Caboolture Bowls car. Outside of him, car number 42 is Mark Ferguson. He's out of the Brisbane Club from the Colourfast race team. The lights are staying yellow, so we're going to do one more. Okay, as you can see, the guys are very, very anxious to get the jump on the start. Doesn't matter what colour the lights are. The others started first lap, didn't matter. The lights are still yellow. They've got a flash before they'll go out. And that will tell the drivers we're away and racing. We got down to Mark Ferguson. Brett Barron is there, the South Burnett car number 48. Bowen tucked in on the next line. We've got Robert Trapp, another Mackay car. Mark Pagel is in car number 15 out of Gympie. Sean Ayres, brand new driver at the tail of the field, along with Chris Top. In car number 76, this is a great field of modifieds. Here we go and racing. Sid Whittaker tries to get the best of the jump and carries Todd Doyle out towards the fence. Mark Ferguson takes advantage of that and moves up into position number 2. Todd Doyle will be filthy on that, moves back into 3. Brett Barron would be the next one. Miles Gilroy works his way underneath. Steve Collins hits the bump and then gets out of line up on the fence, and Mark Pagel goes by, as does the rest of the field virtually. Back at the front of the field, Sid Whittaker has the Caboolture car number 6 at Coulton. Right behind him is Mark Ferguson. Todd Doyle working away on the inside, back then to Brett Barron. Todd Doyle has the door closed on him, gets out of shape. Brett Barron says, move out of the road, here I come. Moves Todd Doyle back to position 4. Mark Pagel's got the Highway 1 Dots carpet car up into position 5, but a long way back. Chris Top would be the next one in front of Graham Bing in car number 13. Put another lap down for Sid Whittaker in car number 6, right on his exhaust pipe. Mark Ferguson is in car 42, the Colourfast car. There's plenty of biff and barge. In trouble, Sid Whittaker has blown it up. Gets out of harm's way. Mark Ferguson is the race leader. Into position number 2 will be Brett Barron. Behind him is Todd Doyle. Giving Brett Barron plenty to think about. Back then to Chris Top, who's got by. Mark Pagel, one in trouble, is Robert Trapp in car number 23. Through the canteen corner again, Mark Ferguson, Brett Barron. Todd Doyle's car has gone sour on him in front of Chris Top, who's got out of shape. Mark Pagel is right on his hammer. A long way back to Graham Bing. Race leader, Mark Ferguson, Brett Barron, Todd Doyle. Mark Ferguson's in trouble, he's out of shape. Brett Barron has a look down the inside, can't do it. Holds on to the lead. Mark Ferguson, Brett Barron right on his hammer. Gives him a little bit of a nudge just to remind him that he's there. Todd Doyle's in trouble with Chris Top. Top goes by. Mark Pagel wants a bit of the action as well. Chris top points back on the inside, dust from the inside of the track. Here comes Mark Ferguson, will take it out. Through turn number 4 and Mark Ferguson. Brett Barron will be the next one, Christoph. Todd Doyle, Mark Hagel, Graham Bing across the line in front of Robert Trapp. Miles Gilroy. Car number 19 is Shane Ayres. And the last one to greet the judge would have been Steve Collins. Well, that's round number 1. Number 15 is car number 15 is Mark Pagel. That's the Highway 1 Dots carpet car out of Gympie. Todd Doyle, the Redford's Battery Electrical car number 7 out of Gympie. Sid Whittaker, a scratching from this one as well. Steve Price is car number 3 from Brisbane. Broken axle first time out. That's the Trade Tyres car. And at the tail, car number 19, Warren Hooper in the Shoreline Transport car all the way from the Sunshine Coast. Okay, the action came thick and fast first time out. This is the Karoy Auto Wreckers heat. They can look after your car, get you back on the racetrack as quick as you can blink. Bringing you this heat, first heat of round number 2 of the Whitcott Seedlings. Trackwell Motor Body Builders Modified Production Challenge. Here's a green light and it's a nice close start. All the cars roar into turn number 1 and it's Troy Brittle. The Sunshine Coast Whiz, he's out in front and he's got Neil Lewis hard on his hammer. Peter Lack is the next one and they're lining up for have a go behind him. Plenty of the panels rubbing in the Modified Productions as Travis Barron does battle with Robert Trapp. In there too is Todd Doyle behind him. Coming from the rear of the field, that's Warren Hooper. Back then to Stephen Price. Mark Pagel has tailed off to the rear of the field. The action is up the front, Troy Brittle versus Neil Lewis. Neil Lewis has got the Falcon Mobile. Here comes Peter Lack. Straight through from position number 3. Up underneath Neil Lewis he goes. Into turn 3 into the canteen corner. And the Logan City bus car holds on to the race lead. That's 45 Neil Lewis. Peter Lack would be the next one, Troy Brittle. Back to Robert Trapp. Todd Doyle is the next car in front of Robert Hooper. Then we go back to Travis Barron, Steve Price and Mark Pagel at the rear. Neil Lewis is the race leader. He puts another lap down in the journey and he's got Peter Lack still chasing hard. Back in third place is Troy Brittle. He's shaken off Robert Trapp at the moment. He's still got Todd Doyle right hard on his hammer. Back then to Warren Hooper. Steve Price would be the next one in front of Travis Barron. Mark Pagel unable to get up from the rear of the field. As they head down the back chute, Neil Lewis. It's Falcon versus Commodore up the front. Neil Lewis in the Falcon. Peter Lack in the Commodore in second place. A gap back to Troy Brittle, who's got some handling problems with the car, and Robert Trapp gets car number 23 underneath. Then drifts a little wide. Troy Brittle comes back at him underneath. They're side by side down the back chute. Back at the front of the field we've got Neil Lewis in front of Peter Lack. Then we go back to Robert Trapp. To the better of Troy Brittle. Then we have Todd Doyle. The next one coming around the outside is Steve Price doing battle with car number 19 Warren Hooper, Travis Barron and Mark Pagel. There's one lap to go. Up at the front it's the Logan City bus car of Neil Lewis. He's got a big handful of right hand lock and we got a big problem at the end of the main straightaway. They were coming round, I think, to either to take the white flag. The checkered flag has been shown instead, and Neil Lewis, the Logan City bus car from the Whitcott Seedlings man of Peter Lack and Robert Trapp. The Vernus Engineering car number 23. All the way from Mackay. And we've got Troy Brittle down there, along with Travis Barron, coming to grief at the end of the main straightaway.
Here with me now in Maryborough is the defending series title holder, Steve Jordan. Steve, welcome to Maryborough.
Thanks very much.
Steve, last year the Modified Production Series went all the way down to the very last race before we actually had a winner. What are your thoughts on this year?
This year I reckon it's going to be pretty much the same. I mean, we got a lot of high contending drivers now. I mean, you got the likes of Todd Doyle and Gary Brown and the Raymonts, of course. I mean, they're all in there with a chance. I mean, Michael Halley, there's heaps of us. I mean, there's not just one or two anymore. There's about 10 of us drivers that are actually pretty well up the front all the time, you know. So it asks for a lot of close racing, and it must be good for the spectators as well, you know.
Steve, Maryborough is noted for going slick. A huge field. What are your plans for tonight?
Plans of attack for the night would be just to sort of settle down in the heats there, just enough to qualify into the final. Like you said, the track is going to be very slick, so therefore a lot of the guys, if they're not reading the track, will come undone very early. So keep a cool head, right tyres, and just go with the flow of what's happening in front of you and keep your eyes open, sort of thing, you know.
Great team behind you, here to work with you?
Yes, they're great. I mean, the Blackburn family, now Blackburn Performance Engines, they put so much into this vehicle, it's unbelievable. They live out at Roma. They travel approximately 6 hours every day, when we go to a race meeting, so they're very devoted to the sport. Excellent people, and I cannot say more. They're devoted to Speedway, you know.
Okay, thanks very much, Steve, and good luck tonight. And folks on TV, watch for the Flying 22.
Steve Jordan, watch for him, the Flying 22. The car's all the way from Roma, tucked in there on the inside of the third row. Good field of modifieds as they roll around. They're just about ready to be let loose. 10 laps the journey. Withcott Seedlings, Trackwell Bodyworks, here we go. The light goes green, and it's Mark Ferguson who gets the jump. Slipping down on the inside is Brett Barron. Back we go to Eddie Pearson. Steve Jordan would be the next one. Bradley Stein trying to work his way into position number 5 at the expense of Glenn Mayfield, and Neil Craig is going with him. Back then to Greg Shilton at the tail of the field is Shane Skeen. Have a look at the action up the front. That's Mark Ferguson, a little bit of a tap from Eddie Pearson. Gets himself all out of line, but Brett Barron saves it. Up on the inside comes Steve Jordan. He'll move. Eddie Pearson back to 4th, although Eddie won't give in on the outside. What a drive, he's going to hold on to 3rd place. We've got one going around in circles. Got the car going again, but it was Shane Skeen coming to grips with car number 11, Steve Jordan. In front of the Clifford Autos car out of Toowoomba number 6, that's Bradley Stein. We then got the Welby car. Down from Mackay, Neil Craig, the lights are out, here's a green one and away we go again. Mark Ferguson gets it a little bit out of shape in turn number 2. That's all that Brett Barron needed. Tucks the nose underneath. Gives him a little bit of a touch on the boot just to remind him that he's there. Back we go then to Eddie Pearson. The next one through will be Steve Jordan. Brad Stein doing battle with Neil Craig. And the rest of the field go underneath the action is split positions 1, 2, 3, 4. Into the canteen corner. Here comes Brett Barron. Move out of the road, he says, thank you very much. Gets the inquiry flag for that. Very rough handling by Brett Barron as he heads down the back chute. This time he's in front of Eddie Pearson, who's got a little bit high on the racetrack. Here comes Steve Jordan, looking for position. Number 3, he's got it. Tenth car 42, back to position 4. In Mark Ferguson, a long way back then to Neil Craig. Brett Barron is the race leader. Eddie Pearson, Steve Jordan. Eddie Pearson's in trouble, gets it out of shape. He's got a battle for position 2 again as Jordan's underneath him. Can't do it again. Eddie Pearson puts the big right foot down in the Commodore. Brett Barron, Ed Pearson in front of Steve Jordan. Back then to Mark Ferguson, Neil Craig. And we've got a yellow light. Okay, well, okay, folks, you can see right in front of me the reason why the race was stopped. Brett Barron, as we were saying, big heave-ho, said goodbye to Mark Ferguson. Stewart didn't like it. 2 black flags, refused to accept them, stopped the race, park it on the infield. Now we'll wait and see whether or not they put Mark Ferguson back at the front of the field. And no doubt he'll want to come and have a chat to the stewards afterwards, but that leaves Eddie Pearson in the front. Green light and away we go. It's Eddie Pearson, Steve Jordan, Mark Ferguson, Neil Craig. Bradley Stein, Eddie Pearson's in trouble again, drifts off the line. Steve Jordan's got his nose in front again. Ed Pearson fights back on the outside. This Commodore's got some grunt. Look at it go. Eddie Pearson, way offline, but manages to hold on to the race lead and is now drawing away in car number 4. Steve Jordan can't do it. Brad Stein's in trouble. Pulls to the infield. Eddie Pearson in front of Steve Jordan. Mark Ferguson, Eddie Pearson's done it again. Gets it up in the loose stop. Jordan's got him this time. No! Eddie Pearson, no, he can't do it again. Eddie Pearson out of harm's way he goes. Steve Jordan takes it out. Mark Ferguson into second place. Neil Craig for third. Eddie Pearson got it wrong on a number of occasions. Couldn't get it back online for the last one. Well, folks, put your hands together for modified production racing. Steve Jordan, defending champion of the challenge, makes it 2 out of 2 in the Blackburn car. Car number 42, the colour fast car of Mark Ferguson, in for second place, and Neil Craig, all the way from Mackay, takes out position number 3. Over to you, Peter.
Well, thank you, Jordan. Doing pretty well here tonight as well. Thanks, Paul. Back to you.
Action City Motors, that's their Ford, Nissan and Mitsubishi dealers down there on the highway in Gympie. Been supporters of the series right from the beginning, and Action City Motors bring you the next round of modified productions. And the man from Brisbane, Angry Gary Brown, leads them away in car number 2. He's got Brian Leroy right beside him. The 2 cars side by side through turn number 2. Gary Brown in the Aussie Trackwear car. We got all hell breaking loose behind him. Well, if these cars had door handles, they'd be door handle to door handle. To start out of position number 4, Greg Raymont's in this one as well on the 3rd row along with Chris Top. Rolling around looking for a start. Watch the 2 at the front line. Here we go again, folks. Into turn number 1, Gary Brown gets the better of the jump this time over Brian Leroy, who's left out there in no man's land. He'll drop back through the pack until he can get back on the drive line. Trying to get in front of Andy Deppert. It's plenty for close racing back in the pack. Gary Brown has disappeared in the distance. Graham being the next one around goes Darren White again. For car number 9, Russell Baldry it is. Well, the Queensland champ is no more in this one. Car number 19, that's Sean Ayres, gets up into position as well. Pagel. So the car still in the modifieds. Great to see Sean Ayres behind the wheel. Here we go again. Green light and away and racing. Brian Leroy gets the better of the jump this time from the outside. Won't give in. That's Car number 2 is Gary Brown, gets underneath him through the canteen corner. Gary Brown's the race leader. Well, we're overworking them this time, folks. We've got Chris Top before we get underway. Gary Brown's won 2 of the starts. Brian Leroy got the better and Gary Brown got back under him. Let's try the 4th one and Gary Brown gets the better of it this time. Gary Brown, he's got Greg Raymond straight through underneath Brian Leroy, left out to try again. Here comes Graham Bing up into position number 3. Gary Brown's the race leader. Greg Raymond, Brian Leroy and Graham Bing have hooked it up. Who'd be a steward? Well, do I see another piece of black cloth? I do. So we're going to get rid of somebody else out of this one, and it will be car number 6. Well, the guy who's getting the advantage out of this is Andy Geppert. He's been sitting back there. He's right up there now beside Gary Brown. We've still got a race car on the corner. Now he's out of harm's way. Here's a green one. And away we go again. Gary Brown gets the better of it this time. Andy Geppert it is who's left out to dry. Can we get 2 laps down? Greg Raymond's gone into position number 2. Andy Geppert's in 3. Chris Top coming around the outside. Graham Bing's there. Then we go to Miles Gilroy. We've got car number 5 tucked in there. That's Darren White, Steve Collins and Sean Ayres. The Aussie Jackware car out of Brisbane, Gary Brown. Leads the way. Have a look at the action from position 3. Greg Raymond's in 2, but it's all behind him. Andy Geppert, Graham Bing, and tucked in there as well is Chris Top. Chris Top looks for the big outside pass. Can he pull it off on Andy Geppert down the back straight? No, he can't. Andy Geppert holds on. He's in 3. Gary Brown's way out in front. Greg Raymond would be the next one. Back then to Andy Geppert. Chris Top looks again on the outside. Now he shifts down on the inside. Graham Bing is in front of Miles Gilroy, who's just been parked by Darren White. Wow. Well, we're having a few... Lights are gone out. Just about ready for the restart, and Gary Brown, as I think he's done 5 times this race already, leads them away. He's got Greg Raymond all over the back of him. Raymond working away down the inside. Gary Brown won't let him through, shuts the door on him. Leads them through the canteen corner from Greg Raymond. Back then we go to Andy Geppert. To the better of Chris Top. One in trouble is Miles Gilroy. And can't get it off the racetrack. Sean Ayres getting a little bit out of shape down the back straight. But Miles Gilroy it was. Looks like some front end trouble with the car. Couldn't get it off the racetrack. And a lot of panel damage. Takes the Repco car from Bowen. He's a long way from home. Racing again, this is a long 10 laps. Gary Brown has got him again. All behind him. He's getting lots of start practices and away we go again. Raymond has a little fade on the outside, then tucks back underneath. Almost gets level with the back door of Gary Brown, who backs off and says, follow me round the corner, fellas, that's what you got to do. Raymond in second place. One in trouble is Andy Geppert, but he gets it back on the race line in front of Chris Top. Then we go to Graham Bing. The next one is Darren White, Sean Ayres, and tailed out is Steve Collins. Here comes Greg Raymond again. A little bit of a tap. on the back of Gary Brown. Gary Brown is the race leader. The Commodore leads the Falcon through turn number 2. A bit of a gap back then to the car from the Sunshine Coast, Andy Gappett. Chris Top would be the next one, and Graham Bing. Car number 2 is the race leader, and that's Gary Brown. Leads them a merry dance down to action. Chris Top right up underneath Andy Gappett, can't do it that time through. The white flag out, one to go in heat number 6 of the modified production. Gary Brown. Chris Top has gone past Andy Gappett up into 3rd place. Greg Raymond is back there in 2. Closes up on Gary Brown, but he can't do it. Gary Brown takes the checkered flag over Greg Raymond. Chris Top would be the next one in front of Andy Gappett. Graham Bing. Darren White is in car number 5. Sean Ayres in car number 19, and Steve Collins at the back, folks. It took us a while to get there, but
With me here we've got Ace Brisbane driver Gary Brown. And Gary, welcome to Maryborough Speedway.
Thanks very much.
Gary, I would like you, with your race mechanic down here, Bruce Marshall, doing all the work, to explain to our viewers exactly what they're going to see here tonight and what is a modified production.
Okay, I'll do the best I can. Modified production cars based on your average road car. We've got the like the steel roof, panels that unbolt off the car, your doors, which we replaced with fiberglass. You got your boots replaced. We run a steel rear quarter, but we just got a fiberglass skin over it. All your mounting points are original road car position, so it's basically your road car you see in the street. We're limited to, come over this way. We're doing a bit of preps here. We didn't prep it enough at home. You're limited to a 6-cylinder engine. That's all we run. Well, that's all you're allowed to run. And whatever make of car you run, you must run that engine. We run the VR Commodore. We've got to run the V6 Holden. Your arms down here, which you can see, you can fabricate them yourself. So it adds to really a cheap budget car. You can go racing for, say, $5,000, or you can spend up to $50,000. It's a very even class, and we enjoy it very much. What else could I tell you? This is Charlie. You get working on the car, mate. Go away. As you can see, the fans, can't keep them away. They're just all over the place. Okay, what else can I say about a production car? Okay, our tyres we run, we're limited to a 6-inch rim. We run an 8-inch tyre, which are very similar to a sprint car steer tyre. That's the biggest you can go. You can only go, 265 bag width on a 6-inch rim. And you can get a lot of horsepower out of the motor, but you're limited to this skinny little tyre. And you can just wheel spin if the track's not right. So that's one of the restrictions. Doesn't matter how much money you spend on that engine, you're only reducing it down into that, well, that wheel actually, try and get it going. Okay, inside this one we run a power head, we run a quickener down in the bottom there, just to give us more responsive steering. You got your gauges, they're more for show, no one looks at them anyway, unless you have a stoppage. We fabricated, this car we built ourselves, so we fabricated the whole lot. You got your aluminium seat, your removable steering wheel, and we have to run the good old window net. We run a helmet net as well, just in case we want to tip over for once. That stops the old head from leaning over on these nice country tracks where they're round and slick. What else we got? We can put fabricated pedals in. We don't have to run the original pedals. So it's basically just your shell, your mono shell of a road car, and we try and make it like a race car best we can. Our diff we run in it is, I suppose we can pull the boot off. We can have a better look in the boot. Okay. The diff we run's a standard Borg Warner out of a road car. So you've got a bit of a lean. That's only because the jack's under the front. We fabricate our own tanks, just a 40-litre aluminium tank. With this new contraption here, this is a swirl pot. It's supposed to be the duck's nuts of everything, but we'll soon see how we go tonight. We can run aftermarket shockeys. You don't have to run your road shockeys, but they must be in the original positions and being used. So you're limited to your suspension. What else we got? We really run a radiator in the inside of the car. The main reason for that is to keep the weight. We're limited to being on the right-hand side. The main reason for that is to keep the weight, everything we can, over this left-hand side to get the percentages because as you go around, of course, all the weight goes to the right. So that's about a modified production. Very simple and very competitive. So hopefully tonight we'll run this Maryborough track and be up the front. Who knows? Thank you.
Darren White is there in the big Falcon. Russell Baldry is also missing. Steve Jordan, he'll love this. He was supposed to start out of 5 because of a few cars missing from the grid. Starts out at 2 and away we go, and Steve Jordan puts the loud pedal down and takes the Blackbird Engineering car number 22 out into the race lead. Young Andy Gifford, the B&T Autos car, holds on to position number 2, and he's got Darren White from Gibraltar. He's in position number 3 and hotly pursued by the Whitcott Seedlings car number 05 of Peter Lack. Back then to Steve Collins. Bradley Stein is there in the South Burnett car number 5. Making every post a winner is Steve Jordan. Andy Geppert's to come to Darren White, who's got through underneath. Next one there is Peter Lack, a long way back then to Steve Collins. Got the Commodore. Really wound out in front of Bradley Stein. Car number 2 trying to come right around the outside. That's Gary Brown, and he has been able to do so. Takes Mark Ferguson with him, and he'll set sail after the race leaders. No doubt about our race leader, that's Steve Jordan. And he said, guys, catch me if you can. Darren White is in second place. Andy Gifford is car number 36. That's the Ford Falcon, and he's hotly pressed now by Peter Lack in car 05, moves up underneath. Looking for position number 3 as they arrive at the canteen corner. Andy Gifford holds on to it at the moment. Peter Lack gets a little bit out of shape. Long way back then to Gary Brown. Next one will be car number 42. That's Ferguson in front of Brad Stein. Back then to Steve Collins. Out at the tail of the field is Sean Ayres. They're lining up as Darren White has got Andy Gifford hard on him. Back there too is Peter Lack. Meanwhile, Steve Jordan, he's bolted in this one. Comfortable lead. Underneath the control tower he goes, and he's got 2 laps to go. Darren White, he's got them all over him. Here comes Peter Lack with a big run around the outside. Darren White, Andy Gifford comes underneath. Darren White shuts the door on him. 1 lap to go for Steve Jordan. Peter Lack has got to pull off a miraculous outside pass. Right around the outside of Darren White he goes, and into position number 2. But put down the glasses, Steve Jordan. Too good and takes it out. Peter Lack, a magnificent drive into position number 2. Darren White, the next one home in front of Andy Gifford. Finishing very quickly was Gary Brown. Back then to Mark Ferguson. The next one home would have been Bradley Stein in front of Sean Ayres.
Andy Gifford doing a good job, a product of the junior ranks from a number of seasons ago. Great to see him driving well after getting damaged earlier on tonight. Heat 2 of round 3, back to you, Paul.
Thank you very much. And this round brought to you by Petro Fuels of Toowoomba and Kingaroy. All your fuel and oil needs, go and see Petro, and they've been with us at the Modified Production Challenge right from the beginning, and away we go. Mark Hagel and Neil Craig. Mark Hagel, the Gimpy car number 15, gets it to the front, going down the back chute. Takes the Highway 1 Dots Carpet Commodore into the race lead. Neil Craig with some smoke coming from the inside of the car. The yellow lights are on, and we're going to have to do it all over again. It's Troy Brittle out of the Brisbane Club. We'll go back to the front line again. The Welby Race Engines, car number 69. That's Neil Craig, the Red Falcon. Out. And right beside him is Todd Doyle. That's the better electrical car out of Gympie. Oh, plenty of pushing and shoving in the middle of the pack, and we're away and racing. Neil Craig, Mark Pagel on the outside. Neil Craig has the better on the outside. It's Mark Pagel getting the jump into the race lead as they arrive at the canteen corner for the first time. One getting all out of shape is Neil Craig, and we've got one up against the wall, Steve Price. Steve Price, there wasn't enough room, and maybe he was trying to get off out of the road. Graduation formal behind the wheel of car number 11. It was quite an exciting entry. We'll watch how he goes here tonight. Mark Pagel on the outside of Colin Munn, and Steve Price is in there in car number 3 now. Underway and racing we go again and again. Mark Pagel gets the best of the jump on the outside. Colin Munn tucked in behind him. Has a little look down the inside. Todd Doyle on the outside of Steve Price. Coming right around him is Brett Barron. He has got the bit between his teeth. Moves up into position at number 4. Colin Munn up high on the track allows Todd Doyle to get by. Down the back chute we go with Brett Barron now having a look under Colin Munn, who's moved up high. Let him go. Mark Pagel is the race leader. Todd Doyle in front of Brett Barron. One in trouble is car number 45 it was. Neil Lewis gets it back in the right frame. Back in the race lead. Mark Pagel. Todd Doyle. Brett Barron. Stephen Price has got car number 3 up into position number 4. Lose a little bit high, and here comes Colin Munn underneath. Back then is Troy Brittle in car number 63 back. The next one would be Neil Lewis. Then we've got Glenn Mayfield, and at the tail of the field is Greg Schultz. Mark Pagel is in car number 15 and starting to street them a little bit as he moves up onto the cushion in front of Todd Doyle. The next one is Brett Barron. Those 3 have moved right away from Steve Price. He's got his hands full with Colin Munn, who's settling down well in position number 5. Back to Troy Brittle. Neil Lewis in the Falcon would be the next one. Greg Schultz. And at the tail of the field is Glenn Mayfield. Colin Munn has got up on the inside of Stephen Price. Gets it out of shape down the back chute, but gets up into position number 4. Stephen Price won't give in. Price back on the outside. Back at our race leader, Mark Pagel. Running away with this one over Todd Doyle. Brett Barron's up there in position 3, and a big gap back to Colin Munn, who's got himself up into 4. Next one would be Stephen Price. They've got about 2 laps to go. Troy Brittle working away underneath Stephen Price. Neil Lewis is tucked in there as well. Our race leader is in the canteen corner, and that is Mark Pagel. Car number 15. Takes the white flag, 1 to go. Todd Doyle will be the next one. One in trouble is in fact Steve Price. Has succumbed to some mechanical problem. We'll pick up our race leader. Steve Price has died. The car has died on him. Checker flag time. Mark Pagel. Brett Barron charging hard at the end, but Todd Doyle will finish in 2. Third place will go to Brett Barron in front of car number 11. Colin Munn, the next one home is Troy Brittle. Then will be Greg Schultz in front of Neil Lewis, and car number 11 will be the last one to greet the judge. That's Glenn Mayfield. And the Modified Productions brought to you by Cooler Beach Getaway Resorts, your slice of paradise, and I can tell you the most beautiful place on this earth is Cooler Beach. And one of the prizes waiting for our winner of the series this year again is a holiday down there at Cooler Beach Getaway Resort at beautiful Cooler Beach. And this is the 3rd round, or the 3rd heat of the 3rd round, and this is the last opportunity for these drivers to pick up some points. Miles Gilroy is the man from Bowen. Row is car number 29. He stalled the car as he gets it going. Ed Pearson, the Pearson drilling car number 4. Car number 19 is Warren Hooper. That's the Shoreline Transport car. Graham Bing is there in car number 13 out of Mackay. Brian Leroy's back in the Corvette Queensland car. And Shane Skeen having his first night out in the modified productions from the rear. And away we go, and this one is the NZ car on the outside of Chris Top. Gets the better of the jump, looks for the lead down the back chute. Miles Gilroy fights hard on the inside in the Repco Commodore, but can't hold him at bay. And it's Chris Top who's the race leader, as Greg Raymond also decides around the outside is the way to go, and Greg Raymond gets up into second place, and Robert Trapp follows him around the outside, pushing Miles Gilroy back now into position number 4 in front of Eddie Pearson. The next one will be Warren Hooper in car number 19, then Brian Leroy. Chris Top, the man from the Downs in the NZ Commodore, is the race leader. The Karoy Auto Wreckers man, that's Greg Raymond, leads into second place in car number 29. Hot on his heels in car number 23 is Robert Trapp. A bit of a gap back then to Miles Gilroy in front of car number 4, Eddie Pearson. The next one will be Warren Hooper, who's coming to grips with Brian Leroy right out on the boards in the Looster. Goes Eddie Pearson, and he will go back one lap. No, he doesn't. Holds on to his position. Now Warren Hooper will get by. Back in the race lead though, Chris Top got the back of the car up on that cushion and is the race leader. Greg Raymond's in second place in front of Robert Trapp. Then we go to Miles Gilroy, back then to Warren Hooper. Brian Leroy would be the next one. In front of Eddie Pearson. Car number 13 is Graham Bing, and tailed out to at the end is Shane Skian. The NZ Commodore doing it easily out in front and starting to put a gap between himself and the pursuing Greg Raymond. Robert Trapp is a distant third. This is about as far as we've had the cars spread out all night. Chris Top, Greg Raymond. Robert Trapp's the next one in front of Miles Gilroy, then Warren Hooper. In front of Brian Leroy we go then to Ed Pearson, Graham Bing and Shane Skeen. Another lap down, and he's got 2 laps to go. Car number 76, Chris Top. Shane Skeen having all problems with his bonnet, has to pull onto the infield, can't see where he's going. White flag time for car number 76, Chris Top. Greg Raymond is chasing hard, can't make any impression on him. Robert Trapp's back there in position number 3. Back then to Miles Gilroy. The only battle will be for a minor placing between Warren Hooper and Brian Leroy, but the NZ Commodore of Chris Top crosses the line. In front of Karoy Auto Wreckers man Greg Raymond, back then to car number 23. Robert Trapp out of Mackay. The Bowen car of Miles Gilroy was the next one home. The Shoreline Transport car of Warren Hooper in front of Brian Leroy. 22 outside of him, another Western car, this time from Toowoomba. Chris Top is car number 76, the Brisbane car. Car number 2 of Gary Brown will start out of 3. Another Brisbane car. Car number 42 out of Brisbane is Mark Ferguson. Greg Raymond, the Karoy Auto Wreckers Falcon, will start out of 5. The Whitcott Seedlings man himself, Peter Lack, is out of 6. Todd Doyle out of Gympie is out of 7 and is car number 7. Car number 63 from the Sunshine Coast is Troy Brittle. Sunshine Coast 19. Warren Hooper in the Shoreline Transport Cortina. Car number 45 out of Brisbane is Neil Lewis. That's the Logan City Bus Services car. That's half the field. Car number 11. Car number 15 is the Highway 1 Dots Carpet Commodore out of Gympie, driven by Mark Pagel. Mackay number 23, one of our visitors from a long way north, that's Robert Trapp. The top steer Werner Engineering car. Had a good night, a long drive for Robert Trapp in Mackay 23. South Burnett 48 is the South Burnett Transport car of Brett Barron. Brisbane 6 will start out of position 14. He's got 16 on the roof. That's Greg Schultz, the Albion Car Care car. Sunshine Coast 36. The B&T automotive car of Andy Geppert in the Falcon will start out at 15, Gimpy 6. The Corvette Queensland car. Car number 6 out of 16. Car number 4 is Eddie Pearson in the Pearson's Drilling Commodore. That's out of 17. Mackay 13 all the way down from Mackay is Graham Bing, and he's very happy to make the field. South Burnett number 6 is Bradley Stein, and he starts out of position number 19. And right at the back, Miles Gilroy in car number 51, and Miles is all the way from Bowen. This is 25 laps, ladies and gentlemen, and this is modified production racing at its very best. The lights are out, so we're going racing straight away. Steve Jordan versus Chris Top, and off and running. Into the first corner they go. Steve Jordan carries Chris Top up a little bit. Wants some racing room, and it's Steve Jordan who gets the upper hand. Down the back chute for the first time. Now he's in trouble in the first corner. Drifts a little wide. Here comes Gary Brown. We've got some trouble back in the pack though. Neil Lewis is one of the cars around the wrong way. Big gap underneath him this time, I'm sure of that. Gary Brown will be in there straight away. They roll around 25 laps coming your way. There's a green light and away we go. Up the lane straight away for the first time, and Steve Jordan battles car number 22 into the race lead. He's got Chris Top hard on his hammer. One heading for the wall is Ferguson. We've sorted themselves out. Across the infield comes Todd Doyle, and then careers into Greg Raymond, and in trouble, probably with a deflated tyre. Here's car number 42 up against the fence. Mark Ferguson, can he get out of harm's way? On the infield too, here's Neil Lewis. Ferguson still rolls around down the back chute, trying to sort things out as Steve Jordan goes careering underneath. He's in the race lead. He's got Gary Brown. No, he's not. He's got Peter Lack in position number 2. Then we've got Chris Top, Gary Brown. Todd Doyle is car number 7, and Greg Raymond gives him a little bit of a nudge just to remind him that he's there. Mark Ferguson's got the car fired up again and continues on his merry way. We'll pick up the race leader. He's in the canteen corner. That's Steve Jordan. He's got Peter Lack all over him. Back then to Chris Top. The next one will be Gary Brown. Hold on his hammer. Here's Todd Doyle. We go then to Greg Raymond. Warren Hooper's the next one. Troy Brittle. And Brett Barron around the outside comes Peter Lack. And he takes the Whitcott Seedlings car into the race lead in front of Steve Jordan. The next one is Chris Top. Gary Brown is car number 2. We go back then to Todd Doyle, who's got some problems as Greg Raymond closes right up on him. Long way back we go to Warren Hooper. He's just in front of Brett Barron, who's just got around the outside of Troy Brittle. Mark Hagel would be the next one, just to the minute of Robin Trapp. The race leader, Peter Lack, has opened up a bit of a lead over Steve Jordan. Chris Top doing battle with Gary Brown. In there behind him is still car number 7 of Todd Doyle. Greg Raymond coming around the outside is Brett Barron. Moves up one more place. Set tail after the race leaders, but he's giving them a huge start. Warren Hooper. Then we go to Troy Brittle, Mark Pagel, Robert Trapp. The next one would have been Andy Geppert, back then to Brian Lloyd. And we got A yellow light comes on. Okay, we'll settle it out. Hard luck there for Peter Lack. He was motoring away. We're almost halfway. We've done 10 laps. They look like they're in their right position. Hard luck for Peter Lack, but at least he's got a clear track now in front of him. He'll have Steve Jordan right behind him. Christoph will be looking for the big charge as well. They roll around, the lights are out. We're just about ready to go. The revs build up. Here we go around into the main straightaway. Peter Lack gets the jump. He's got Steve Jordan right on his back bumper bar. Back then to Christoph. The next one will be Gary Brown in front of Todd Doyle. Then we go to Greg Raymond. The big winner out of this has been Brad Barron, because he's got up closer to the front of the field. Warren Hooper is car number 19, Troy Brittle. Then we've got Mark Bagel, Andy Geppert, back then to Brian Leroy. Bradley Stein in front of Greg Schilt. Then we've got Eddie Pearson, Miles Gilroy, and Ferguson at the tail of the field. The race leader is running away again. Car number 05, the Whitcott Seedlings car of Peter Lack. The Blackburn Engineering car. Steve Jordan faces him hard. Chris Cobb's in trouble. Just a little bit offline. Here comes Gary Brown in fourth position. A mover through the field is Brett Barron working away underneath Greg Raymond. Got him crossed up. That's out of it. Warren Hooper's arrived. Can't go anywhere. Brett Barron saves it. Coming around the outside is Troy Brittle. Hard luck for Warren Hooper. Race leader, have a look at him go. Peter Lack out there in front and running away. Back in position number 2, and he's got his hands full. Steve Jordan right behind him. Christoph. Gary Brown would be the next one, a long way back then. Got Todd Doyle in front of Greg Raymond. Brett Barron. Have a look back in positions 2, 3 and 4. That's where the action is. Steve Jordan. He is really struggling. Mark Bagel spun it out. Takes it onto the infield around a halfway. Steve Jordan struggling to keep Christoph behind. Christoph up on the inside. Steve Jordan right back. Toppy gets him sideways. Lets him go. Drips out away from it. Steve Jordan holds on to second place. The race leader starting to move up towards the tail of the field. This is where the lapping flag comes in handy. Peter Lack, he can see the tail cars right in front of him. They've got their own battle going. We've got Miles Gilroy and Brian Leroy up on the infield, taking the race leader up towards the fence. As Mark Ferguson gets out of it and across the infield and back on the racetrack. Brian Leroy and Miles Gilroy hook an open track in front of him. Steve Jordan, Christoph. We've done 19 laps, ladies and gentlemen. We've got six laps to go. They roll around. Miles Gilroy with the back bumper panel dragging on the ground. The light hand Peter Lack in car 05, the Whitcott Seedlings car. Can he hold on? He's got the defending title holder Steve Jordan right behind him. Away we go and racing with 6 laps still to go. Peter Lack is car number 05. As they all move under, Todd Doyle has got some problems, gets it sideways down the back chute, now gets it mobile again. Back at the front of the field, Peter Lack is the race leader. Steve Jordan in front of Chris Cobb in car number 76. Gary Brown is Brett Barron's gone with him. Todd Doyle's got some car problems. He's going to try and limp home in car number 7. The front wheel has collapsed on the car. Maybe it's a flat tyre. No, yes, flat tyre on the front of car number 7. Down the back chute. Racing away with this one out in the race lead. He's got Steve Jordan dropping back behind in position number 2. Right behind Steve Jordan. Chris Top doing everything he knows. We've got 2 laps to go for Peter Lack. Steve Jordan, we've got Brett Barron and Greg Raymond hammering away for one of the minor positions. And Brett Barron it is who gets the better of it. 1 lap to go, the white flag is out for Peter Lack. Steve Jordan is in 2. He's got Chris Top all over him, as is Gary Brown. Back then to Brett Barron in front of Greg Raymond. Back then to Warren Hooper. Here's our winner, folks. Peter Lack in front of Steve Jordan. Chris Top, Gary Brown will be the next one home. Brett Barron in front of Greg Raymond. Warren Hooper, Greg Schultz to the better of Bradley Stein. Mark Ferguson crosses the line in front of Eddie Pearson, Andy Geppert, Miles Gilroy. Todd Doyle gets across the line with the flat tyre. He knows how important the points are. Here he goes, folks, around with the checkered flag. Put your hands together for the Whitcott Seedlings man, Peter Lack. Graham Earhart and the Whitcott Seedlings team have taken out round number 1. Peter Lack is car number 05 and he will be ecstatic. Takes it out, heat number 1 of the Whitcott Seedlings Trackwell Motor Bodybuilders Challenge for this year. And that is a great drive, and this car has made it 2 out of 2 here in Maryborough. Took it out last year in the hands of Graham Earhart. This time it's Peter Lack in car number 05. Great drive into second place for Steve Jordan and Chris Top.
With me here now at Maryborough Speedway after a hectic feature race, the winner of the first round of the Whitcott Seedlings Trackwell Modified Productions, Peter Lack. Peter, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a terrific race. The car was absolutely brilliant, thanks to the crew. You know, I'd like to thank Graham Wendy Earhart from Whitcott Seedlings for giving me the opportunity to drive the car for him. I'd like to thank Whitcott Seedlings and Trackwell for putting on the series. You know, it's going to be a great series, and it turned out tonight like it was, you know, a really good night tonight, so it's going to go on. I'd like to thank all the crew. They put in 100% effort, and we give them 100% job back. So, you know, it's worked really well for us. So, thanks very much, guys.
Congratulations, Peter. We're on your home track in Toowoomba next time, so we'll be looking for another big up win. We'll see you next time when Modified Productions race. Thank you.
Very good, very good.
Yeah, there's a cheque for $1,100. Right.
2 car 11s. The red one is Glenn Bayfield. Shane Skeen is car number 25. His debut in the Modified Productions as well. Steve Collins is 43. And Steve Price has had a wretched night. A very, very fast motor car. Got himself in all sorts of trouble. He'll start right at the back. 6 laps the journey. And Sean Ayres, it was making all sorts of funny noises as he came past the control tower. 2 car 11s up the front, and Colin Munn, he's determined to take home some money out of this. He's got it out in front. Right behind him is Glenn Bayfield. Car number 43 is Steve Collins, and coming through is Steve Price. Shane Skeen is the other car, and hard luck for Shane Ayres, who's found himself at the tail of the field. Colin Munn leads from Glenn Bayfield. Steve Price working away is Shane Skeen, looking to get up into one of the major placings at least one time tonight. Gets up into third place. Colin Munn running away. Glenn Mayfield is in second place. Shane Skeen, brand new motor car. On its debut, gets up into position number 3 in the consolation, and he's looking for 2 as Glenn Bayfield gets it all out of shape. Here comes Shane Skeen in the wide base Hines car, gets a bit of room underneath, says thank you, up into second place. Will he have time to catch? Colin Munn in car number 11 out the front. Doing a great job in car number 11. Right behind Shane Skeen, we've got Glenn Bayfield. Behind him is Stephen Price, and then Steve Collins as Glenn Bayfield gets out of shape. Allows Stephen Price to go through. Also having a look there is Steve Collins. Down the back chute for car number 11, Colin Munn. In trouble is Glenn Bayfield, and he's up on the infield. Gets it back on the racetrack, but he's a long way now from the race leader. Shane Skeen's back there in second place. Steve Price is third. Steve Collins would be the next one in Glenn Bayfield, but it's young Colin Munn. Only finished putting the car back together on Friday in front of Shane Skeen. Steve Price has broken an axle, done all sorts of things tonight to the car, but he's going to finish third in the consolation as the white flag is out. Colin Munn takes it with 1 to go. Shane Skeen comes across as well. Heads around Maryborough Speedway for the last time. Steve Price is back there in position 3. Steve Collins back to Glenn Bayfield, but here's the winner of the consolation. Colin Munn takes it out in front of Shane Skeen. We'll wait for third place. Steve Price will be happy with that. Stephen Collins is the next one to cross the line. Glenn Bayfield, the last one to greet the judge. Congratulations to Colin Munn, car number 11.
Tyson Litre, also in the same boat, car 108. Good luck to both of those competitors. The rest move by them and leave our 2 experienced drivers at the tail. Barry Potter has joined Kevin Welsh on the front row. Kevin Welsh and Barry Potter, the ones with the cleanest view of what's going to happen in front of them. Away we go now. Kevin Welsh will be the first one to the line. Barry Potter keeping company on the outside. And yeah, Kevin Welsh liking the conditions a little bit more than the previous time. He's safely around the top corner, as are most of the competitors at the moment. Alan Stunt's dropping back a little bit in car number 10. He's back into about 6th position, about to be gobbled up by Jeff Moller going down the outside as well. But from the front, Kevin Welsh is the one who'll lead them through lap number 1. Barry Potter started from position 2, and that's where he is as they complete that first lap. 68 of Rod Collins up into position number 3. Behind him will be Scott Rutledge in car 75, followed by Cyril Bates' car 91. Jeff Moller will be next. He'll round out the first half a dozen cars. A little break back now to Alan Stunts, who's got car 10 running a little bit more speedily than on the first lap. John Watson is camped behind him in car 14. And our 2 newcomers, Tyson Lysel and Luke Christian, keeping company down the back straight as the others come around to join them, still being led by Kevin Welsh. Car 110 a few lengths advantage over Barry Potter at the moment, who goes close to the fence and wraps it as well, now being joined in the boards by car 68 of Rod Collins. He's wobbling down towards the track and gets collected by Scott Rutledge, who didn't know where the driver in front of him was heading. He bounces off car 68 and Rod Collins looks to be heading towards the infield, as does Scott Rutledge. So possibly 2 withdrawals from that incident down the back chute. Meanwhile, our front runner Kevin Welsh is mixing it with the back markers. He's safely by Tyson Lysel and also Luke Christian. And Kevin Welsh in car 110 is the first of that line of 3 red cars in the bottom corner. He's our race leader and he's got a handy break over Barry Potter. Car number 3 running second at the moment. Cyril Bates back into third place, but car 5 of Jeff Moller is trying to get that position off him as he tries to move up on the inside. Cyril Bates fights back on the outside and he hangs on to his position 3. Jeff Moller hard on his hammer in the top corner. Alan Stutz will be next in car 10, followed by John Watson in car 14. And the next one to complete that lap will be our race leader, Kevin Welsh. So Kevin Welsh, the red car in the top corner at the moment, car 110. About a half a lap is the advantage over Barry Potter, who's trying to get by Tyson Lytle in the main straight and succeeds now as the top corner looms up. Position 3 still Cyril Bates in the car 91. That's the car with the bowling ball and the skittle painted on the boot. Car 5 is Jeff Moller. He's still hard on his tail in position 4, followed by Alan Stutz. Then John Watson in the car 14. And our race leader now moving down the outside of John Watson in the back straight. So John Watson also goes one lap down. Kevin Welsh still has this half a lap lead over the rest of the field. Barry Potter in second place is halfway down the back straight now. The white flag meanwhile has been taken by our race leader. Our second place car is the one all by himself in the bottom corner. That's Barry Potter. It's a pretty distant second though, with about a half a lap left to go. The checkered flag being prepared in front of me now, and the car 110 of Kevin Welsh. He could take it pretty easily from here. He's the one moving around the outside of all the competitors in the bottom corner. And as the others take the white flag, Kevin Welsh will take the checkered flag now. Kevin Welsh in car 110, a long way ahead of the field. Barry Potter skating through from the bottom corner now will take out second place. Still racing for third. It looks like that Jeff Moller has got by Cyril Bates over the last couple of laps. And Jeff Moller will exit turn number 4 now. He'll take third position. Fourth will go to Cyril Bates, who crosses the line. Could you please make your way around to the entrance gate? Stand here beside the control tower. Mitch Saunders to the entrance gate near the control tower, please. To LPG. So one of our longest sponsors here of Maryborough Speedway, Tarrant's, Australia's oldest Ford dealers. Adelaide Street in town and Torquay Road down at Harvey Bay. Great range of Ford cars, motorcraft parts, authorised sales and service. And thanks as well to... Good to see a lot of them have washed the cars as well. The number's getting a little bit hard to read first time out, but Cyril Bates looks a little bit cleaner than the previous time I saw him. He's in car 91 in position 1. Jeff Moller also sharing the front row with him. The green light, gee, they're pretty fast. Well, that's tonight. Ken Ross on the second row, but our front row moving away from them. Cyril Bates and Jeff Moller. It's a race in 2 after only half a lap. Car 11 of Ken Ross missing the start, and the others now peeling off behind him. Try and set out after these front runners. Cyril Bates past me now with Jeff Moller in second position. Car 3 of Barry Potter currently running in position 3. Behind him, Alan Stutz in the car number 10. Car 75 of Scott Rutledge is back in about 5th position at the moment, but they're still giving these 2 cars up the front a pretty big head start in this 6-lap event. Cyril Bates and Jeff Moller head towards turn number 2 as the others come by me, including car 110 of Kevin Welsh. He's back in about the 6th position. Car 108 of Tyson Lytle out there for more, as is Luke Christian in car 109. But our front runners mixing it with the back markers even at this early stage. Car 91 of Cyril Bates. He's our race leader. He's shaken off Jeff Moller also. So 1 and 2 now in the bottom corner. Car 91 of Cyril Bates crossing the line now. 5 is Jeff Moller. He's in second place. A whole host of cars coming from the bottom corner, being led by Barry Potter. He's running in third place with John Watson behind him. So John Watson running in 4th place to the better of Alan Stutz. Then I think you'll find Kevin Welsh will be running in 6th position, followed by car 75 of Scott Rutledge. a lap and a half to go now for car 91 into the bottom corner. Goes our race leader Cyril Bates, and the white flag comes out now. Car 5 of Jeff Moller, not quite within striking distance with a lap to go as they put a lap on our back markers, including Ken Ross in car 11. The field goes storming by towards the top corner now as Cyril Bates thinks about the bottom corner. Jeff Moller is closing quickly, but he won't quite get there. And Cyril Bates makes it a win from go to woe in event 13. Jeff Moller will be given second position. Finishing in third now will be car 3 of Barry Potter, just to the better of John Watson. Wayne admitting that he wasn't really up on his race preparation. He said he just dragged the car out and gave it a wash from last season and put it on the trailer. Might be a message there somewhere, I suppose. But event 25, round 3 of our vintage sedans. With us again, Scott Rutledge has been claimed by Jeff Moller on turn 1. Jeff Moller in car 5, and new race leader at this early stage. Scott Rutledge dropping back into about 3rd or 4th position. Car 110 of Kevin Welsh is in 2nd place, and I think that's Barry Potter in 3rd. Cyril Bates, the Caboolture Bowls sponsored car 91, hunting around 3rd or maybe 4th position. He's up into 3rd now as Barry Potter moves up a bit higher on the track, and Cyril Bates trying to continue with his foot to the floor and get by Kevin Wells, which is what he's done in the top corner. So Cyril Bates, the main improver in the field. He's only got Jeff Moller in front of him as they come around to complete that lap. Jeff Moller across the line now from Cyril Bates and Kevin Welsh. Barry Potter will be next, followed by car 14, that's John Watson. 75 of Scott Rutledge will be the next one on the circuit. Our 2 rookie drivers, Tyson Lytle and Luke Christian, back towards the rear of the field with a couple of laps remaining. Also in the pack, car 11 of Ken Ross. Our race leader coming down now into turn 3, car number 5 of Jeff Moller. He's got Cyril Bates only a length behind as they get the white flag. Cyril Bates has got the inside run as well. Jeff Moller quickly pedals across the coverage track and claimed the pole liner with half a lap to go. It's car 5 leading car 91. Barry Potter has got ahead of car 14 of John Watson. They're fighting out 3 and 4 as the flag falls. And Jeff Moller has won the event from Cyril Bates. Barry Potter has finished in 3rd place from John Watson. Ken Ross in car 11 around the top part of the circuit as the others come out of turn 4. The green light is on now. John Watson and Alan Sutton were our front row. Jeff Moller trying to split them up as they go out of turn 2. In fact, Jeff Moller now working his way through into 2nd position. Alan Stutz in the 3rd position, one doing a lazy spin, I think could be Barry Potter in car 3. Still has the car fired up and will continue back towards the rear of the field. Bit of problems for Ken Ross in the top corner, car 11, has also spun off the track. The race continuing around the outside of him. We look down towards the bottom corner and 2 of them are going around. Well, we used to call it the Bomber's Waltz. Don't know whether that still works for the vintage sedans, but well, our car's strung out a bit, but we're not waiting for them. Jeff Moller in car 5 at the head of the bunch. Cyril Bates, car 91, tries to make his move on the inside and succeed in turn 2. So Cyril Bates, our new race leader. Jeff Moller in the 2nd place. Behind them, car 10 of Alan Stutz. That rounds up the big 3 at the moment. Although lots of racing to go between now and the end. Car 108 of Tyson Lytle in position number 4, I believe, or that could be Kevin Welch moving around the outside of him now. Also out there still with a chance is John Watson in car 14, but he's back there towards the rear of the field. Just in front of him is Barry Potter in car 3. And one further behind them is Luke Christian in car 109. Well, Cyril Bates doing a good job in the conditions in car 91, opening up a handy break now over the John Watson sponsored car number 5 of Jeff Moller. 110 of Kevin Welch in position number 3. Not far behind them is Alan Stutt, running in Maryborough 10 in position 4. John Watson back in the 5th position in the yellow car, halfway down the back straight. He's about a half a lap behind our race leader, who's now going up to the top corner, and he's got Ken Ross in his sights. Cyril Bates selects the outside line and gets by Ken Ross. Cyril Bates up the main straight now. And 2 laps remaining in our feature event. Kevin Welch, meanwhile, has come to grips with the car 5 of Jeff Moller. Kevin Welch in second place, Jeff Moller in position 3. They're closing in now on our front runner, who's taking a bit of time to get by one of our back markers. 1 lap to go now for Cyril Bates. He should still have a winning race, although Kevin Welch and Jeff Moller have decreased this race lead. Car 14 of John Watson, I believe, up into a 4th position. Barry Potter taking the white flag now, but the checkered flag falling for Cyril Bates. Car 91 has won our finish sedan feature event. Kevin Welch will be home in 2nd place. 3rd will go to Jeff Moller. Not much time for the drivers to get accustomed. The lights are out already. Start will probably be coming our way. Away we go now. Cameron Buzzigo had his nose in front when the green light came on. 28 of Aidan Raymond lost to the 2nd place as they make their way towards the back chute for the first time. Graham Humphreys in position 3, doing better than Brian Francis at the moment. Lester Wilcox in car 56 back at about 6th position, although one going high there is Aidan Raymond. He'll lose a couple of places and he'll now pull in front of Russell Cowley in car 10. Russell Cowley back at about 5th position. Lester Wilcox behind him, followed by car 14, which is John Racco. One further behind Joel Wilson in the white car 15. Ian Bates will be next in car 11. Mark Raymond in car 22, one of our back markers, trying to make his way through the field, but he's got about 5 street sedans lining across in front of him. To the bottom corner they go. Cameron Buzzico pretty comfortably at this stage. Queensland number 1 out of turn 4. Still our race leader from Graham Humphreys, who's up into 2nd place. A good recovery from Aidan Raymond as he challenges Brian Francis in the top corner. Brian Francis moves over wide, touches the fence in turn 2 and struggles for power as Lester Wilcox tries to gobble him up. Lester Wilcox hard on the brakes as Brian Francis drifted down across the circuit. Just a couple of laps to go now for Cameron Buzzico. This 6th lap certainly disappears in a hurry. Behind Lester Wilcox, car 14 is John Racco. One further behind him will be Russell Cowley in car 10, followed by car 22. That's Mark Raymond. But with 1 lap to go, Cameron Buzzico takes the white flag. Graham Humphreys and Aidan Raymond sorting out the minor placings. They're in turn 2. Lester Wilcox has got a freight train lining up behind him, including Brian Francis and also John Racco in car 14. They're sorting out 4th, 5th and 6th position, but Cameron Buzzico has got it won. Queensland number 1 takes out the event. The second one home will be Graham Humphreys in car 25. 3rd place will go to Aidan Raymond. Lester Wilcox will hang on for fourth ahead of Mark Raymond, then John Racco, Ian Bates, the next one home in about position 7. Lead 2 of round 1 for our street sedans, also a 6-lap event. Darren Brims should be in car 75, the inside of the front row. Adrian Thompson in Maryborough 38, on the outside of him, Neil Cooper from Gladstone with route number 13, pushing and shoving a bit in position 3. Michelle Barbala was the one on the outside of him. Michelle Barbala back into about 5th or 6th position at the moment as Steve Thompson tries to move through, get them from the front. 75 is Darren Brims, car 38 of Adrian Thompson running in 2nd place, followed by Neil Cooper. That's the big 3 at the moment. Car 48 is Dustin Horn, one of the additions to our program tonight. He's trailing a bit of panel at the rear of the car, but he's still up there competing well in position 4. He's got Steve Thompson trying to move through on the inside of him now as Steve Thompson gets by Neil Cooper. One further behind will be Steve Barsby in car 3. 16 is Jim Cowley. And Michelle Barbala, after being pushed and shoved a bit around in the first lap, finds herself at the rear of the field. One going infield, possibly Dustin Horn. Car 75 of Darren Brims continues down the back chute. A handy lead at the moment for Darren Brims. Adrian Thompson, I think you'll find, is still in the 2nd position. Steve Thompson has moved up through lots of territory. In fact, 2nd place now for Steve Thompson as they cross the line with a couple of laps remaining. Steve Thompson sets out after Darren Brims. Route number 13 of Neil Cooper in the 4th position, followed by Stephen Barsby. Car 16 of Jim Cowley running in about the 6th position. As the white flag comes out, not much time to make up ground in these 6-lap events, but Steve Thompson has done that. He's in 2nd place with about 3 parts of a lap to go. Don't think he'll catch Darren Brims. Our race leader coming into turn 3 now. Darren Brims should see this one out. Steve Thompson trying to keep ahead of Adrian Thompson on the final part of the lap, and he'll be able to do it. Making a late bit there is Neil Cooper, just won't get through into 3rd position. So Darren Brims will beat home Steve Thompson. Adrian Thompson in position 3. Neil Cooper, a pretty competitive 4th place for the Gladstone competitor. Car 66 on the outside of the front row. Natalie Mellor is out tonight. Car 16. Could be Travis Hutchison, I think, on the inside of the 2nd row. Car 22 of David Modolo be on the outside of row 2. No waiting, no delay, we're off again. Rodney Schlusner, one of the next, as all sorts of chaos breaks out in turn 1. They didn't even make it to turn 1, in fact. Car 79 of Lee Steffens has coasted up the straight backwards after being collected front and back, I believe. Car 12 of Stacey Thompson next being cleared. Off again for a restart in event 8. Car 19 of Laurie Ottaway takes off in position 1 once again. Annette Francis in car 66, back in about 3rd or 4th place at the moment. One touching the fence around the top corner, but continuing on in a wobbly style down the back straight. Car 79, I think that's Lee Steffens. He's back at the tail, a bit of a nose-to-tail also involving Annette Francis in the bottom corner, and she looks to be, well, she's coming back out onto the circuit now. But Annette Francis going from 2nd place to last in the space of a lap. Pick them up as they come from the bottom corner this time around. Car 69 of Rodney Schlusner ahead of Laurie Ottaway as they think about the back straight. Possibly David Modolo, I think, up in 3rd position. Another one having trouble is a car 2 of Travis Hutchison. He regathers the pace now, but he's back in about 6th position, and a couple of cars closing in on him, including car number 88 of Tracy Panton. The car's strung out over more than a half a lap. as our back marker Annette Francis heads towards the top corner. Our race leader still Rodney Schluster puts it on the lap on. A couple of laps to go in the event. He's got Laurie Holloway hunting him hard in the top corner. Car 22 of David Madolo is in position 3, about a lap and a half from the checkered flag. As Rodney Schluster comes up now to collect the white flag, getting a bit untidy behind him is Laurie Holloway. Rodney Schluster, still our race leader, David Madolo in position number 3. Car 28 of Gary Negus, one of our additions, running a pretty competitive 4th at the moment. But the race drawing to a conclusion now. Car 69 of Rodney Schluster has seen it out. Laurie Holloway in second position. Oh, trouble happening on the line, involving the ones out of the placing. David Madolo, I think, might have been home safely in position 3 from Urangan. They're supporting our Super Streets with the trophies. Quail trophies from Maryborough, who my light now been extinguished, so a start will be coming your way next time around. Going to be a little bit wet and slippery there for our street sedans. See how they'll handle these conditions. Joel Wilson and Neil Coomber from 1 and 2. Graham Humphreys and Steve Barsby from the second row. Steve Barsby dropping back a bit now. Shelley Barbara in a bit of a sandwich there with Steve Barsby on the outside, and another competitor on the inside. A bit of a spin there, I think, from Graham Humphreys has caused a bit of a train reaction behind. I think that could have been car 25 doing that lazy spin out of turn 2. Joel Wilson and Neil Coomber show them the way down the back chute again. Graham Humphreys and Stephen Barsby on the second row. Michelle Barbala and Darren Brims make up the first half a dozen. Away we go once again. Pretty thick and fast in the pack. Car 11 of Ian Bates being pushed around a bit. He now breaks clear of the field, and he's back at about 6th position and touching the wall as they sort themselves out down the back chute. It should be Joel Wilson, the one who's doing the better over Neil Coomber. Car 15 of Joel Wilson up the main straight. Once again though, Graham Humphreys finds himself looking at the track from the wrong way around. Graham Humphreys looks to be calling it off as we let the rest go. Joel Wilson's car 15 sets up at the front on the single file line. 13 is Neil Coomber clawing for grip. This time we've lost Stephen Barsby, I think it might be. Goes around and continues on his way, but the officials have spotted him and the race will be declared. Well, the race has been called off. Running will make up the 4th row. The pace picking up, they're looking for a start, they've got it as well. Steve Thompson and Lester Wilcox leaning on each other as they battle for the race lead. Lester Wilcox going a little bit close to the fence, but keeps the foot in the bucket and pulls clear of Steve Thompson as they complete their first half a lap. One into the fence. Further back in the pack, I think might be car 10 of Russell Cowley. He's ground to a halt down near turn 3. They'll have to do it all over again. Dustin Horn and Lester Wilcox, the first 2 cars in this single file. The pace picks up now. We let them loose. Lester Wilcox tries to sneak up on the inside of Steve Thompson, but the Cortina answers the challenge for the moment. They're side by side. In fact, they're up into rows of 2 anyway. Lester Wilcox moving through on the inside of Steve Thompson, forcing him up a little bit high. And Lester Wilcox, after about a half a lap, has got his way through into the race lead. Steve Thompson in second place. Aidan Raymond in position 3 from Russell Cowley, followed by car 26. That's Brian Francis. Adrian Thompson has got a couple of cars behind, including Jim Cowley and also Dustin Horn. Adrian Thompson, meanwhile, tries to pinch the inside line from one of our other competitors, but loses too much speed as he gets a little bit sideways. And Brian Francis sees off that challenge Adrian Thompson will rejoin behind Dustin Horn at the rear of the field. And this is playing very much into the hands of Lester Wilcox out there in the front. He's got half the back straight advantage over the rest of the field. Lester Wilcox crossing the line now. Aidan Raymond and Steve Thompson filling the minor placings, followed by car 26 of Brian Francis. The next place is held down by Russell Cowley in car 10, then Jim Cowley, followed by Dustin Horn, and Adrian Thompson is tailing Charlie at the moment. But the Gold City steering and suspension car of Lester Wilcox is clear with about a lap and 3/4 to go. One having a hairy moment in front of me is Jim Cowley in car 16. He slides to a halt, the yellow light is on, and the checkered flag is waving in front of me, so the race has been declared. Lester Wilcox in car 56 has taken it out. I don't think they would have caught him. Aidan Raymond will be given second, and Steve Thompson will fill third from who has Alan Stegel ran into trouble in his first round tonight. Well, I'll start now for event 20. Travis Hutchison in car 2 was starting out of position 6, and he's up at a 4th already. Oh, hairy ride for, I think it might be Colin Munn testing out his modified production in front of us here. The car quickly turning onto the infield, unplanned I'm sure. The race meanwhile continues. Car 69 of Rodney Schleusner has jumped the best from the start. 13 of Steve Cook in second place, but already after a lap or so, he's half a dozen lengths at least behind our race leader, Laurie Ottaway. Ed Maryborough 19 in position 3, but he's now falling back into the clutches of the car behind him. And that's car number 22 of David Modolo. Pretty competitive in 4th place, and looking for third around the top corner is David Modolo. Car 48 of Todd Kite is next. He's made up a fair bit of ground up into 5th place at this early stage. Travis Hutchison may be next. Though another car working down the inside of him. Travis Hutchison goes a bit high around the bottom corner, and he'll drop back into 6th position. It's car 31 of Rick Hodges. At least for a moment was ahead of Travis Hutchison, but he fights back and he moves up a place again. Try and get them from the front. There's lots of changes in the order. Car 69 of Rodney Schleusner is out in front of Steve Cook in second place. Laurie Ottaway is third at the moment. Possibly 4th will be David Modolo, now moving up over Todd Kite. Further back behind is Travis Hutchison. It's South Burnett 2. Shane Reynolds in Gippy 3 working his way through the field as well, leaving one car behind him. Also that car could be Tracy Panton, I think, in car 88. No, in fact, it's car 66 of Annette Francis. The next one on the circuit. Then comes Tracy Panton. Car 31 of Rick Hodges will be next. The checkered flag, coming down now, Rodney Schleusner. Well, the white flag once again sneaking down under my guard. 13 will be next. That's Laurie Ottaway. Car 22 of David Modolo, I think, has finished in 3rd position. So next time around we'll be into the serious business. Hopefully a safe run through this first corner on the slippery surface. We'll see what pans out. Away we go now. Car 26 of Brian Francis gets ahead of Stephen Barsby, but out towards the boards goes Brian Francis, so Steve Barsby hangs on to his race lead. Lester Wilcox tries to knuckle down and hang on to second position. A couple of challenges coming his way. I think Neil Cooper might be one of them right on his hammer, and one on the inside is the car number 38 of Adrian Thompson. Car 14 of John Ranko has got Steve Thompson ahead of him. They're back in about 6th and 7th position. Meanwhile, up towards the fence and into the fence this time goes Brian Francis. Well, car 28 not really answering the helm at the moment. He continues on his way, but he's lost a lot of ground. We've got one more spinning on the bottom corner. That's Adrian Thompson in 38. He parks it across the pole line for the moment, but now gets out of the way. So Adrian Thompson will rejoin. A cloud of dust coming up there from Brian Francis as he parks it on the infield. Somewhere behind there is our race leader. There he is now. It's car 13 of Neil Cooper, who's come through from the pack. He's our new race leader from Lester Wilcox. Stephen Barsby, I think you'll find he's in position 3, followed by John Racco. One of our Raymond cars, I think that's Aidan Raymond, might be next. Mark Raymond close up behind them. And also Steve Thompson in car 8, who drops back towards the rear. Well, they're all chasing Neil Cooper at the moment. Roof number 13 is our race leader. Adrian Thompson in car 38 is in fact our back marker. So route number 13, the Cortina of Neil Cooper, is in position 1. Lester Wilcox in the second position in the car 56. Aidan Raymond, I think, has made his way up into position 3. The white flag, I think, might be for Adrian Thompson, and the checkered flag is for Neil Cooper. Neil Cooper has taken this one out. Second place will go to Lester Wilcox in car 56. Aidan Raymond's 28 should be given third. So many of the drivers clear the cobwebs. They rev up their cars in the main straight. Michelle Barbala and Darren Brims lead them into the top corner. So next time around we'll let them loose. Michelle Barbala, a big job to hold the rest of this pack. Darren Brims and Cameron Buzzico will be challenging her from all quarters. Away we go now. Darren Brims through to the front. Cameron Buzzico tries to move up on Michelle Barbala, but she holds the line very well and has second place safe for the moment. Cameron Buzzico now trying to switch to the inside. One and a bit of strife further back in the field and going on to the infield. Could be Dustin Horn. No, in fact, Dustin Horn is out there on the track still. Darren Brims pedals hard down the back chute. It was the car 10 of Russell Cowley, the one in trouble on the bottom corner. He's given them almost a half a lap start, but he's back in there with a chance again as Darren Brims goes by me for the second time. Cameron Buzzico in second place. Dustin Horn driving very well indeed. He's up there into third. He's got by Michelle Barbala. Graham Humphreys in car 25 will be in position 5. Behind him is Jim Cowley, followed by Joel Wilson's car 15. And then our back marker coming out of turn number 4, that's Russell Cowley. Well, up the front, Darren Brims is stringing them out. Car 75, a handy brake on the pack with a couple of laps remaining. Cameron Buzzico in second place. Dustin Horn also up there in the third place. 25 is Graham Humphreys. He's got his hands full with Jim Cowley behind, and also Joel Wilson. One further behind will be Michelle Barbala. And then Russell Cowley as well into the final lap. In fact, half a lap remaining for our race leader, Darren Brims. He could shut things down from there. Darren Brims from the bottom corner, 75, sees this one out. Second place will be Cameron Buzzico. Third across the line now is Dustin Horn in 48. Fourth place will go to Jim Cowley, followed by Joel Wilson. This one home will be Graham Humphreys, followed by Michelle Barbala and Russell Cowley. '48 is Todd Kite. Car having a very busy schedule tonight. Even more competitors behind as they look for the green light. Away we go now. Car 22 trying to make a run up the outside with David Madolo. Doing pretty well also, but his way is now blocked. I think the officials might have had a bit to say to car 22 also. One spinning around down there in the bottom corner. The green light still staying on. The officials giving them every chance to keep racing. Still there's no sign of movement. The line looks okay now. The yellow light is out. About to be replaced by the green as they come out of turn 4. Away we go with a big start there from David Madolo. Rockets away from the field. Trying to go with him is the car 79 of Lee Stephens. He was tagged by another car behind him, but continues on his way in second position. David Madolo from the bottom corner. He'll be the first one to complete lap number 1. 79 is Lee Stephens in second place. Car 69 running in the third position is Rodney Schleusner. Travis Hutchison in position 4 from Todd Kite. Laurie Ottaway in Maryborough 19 rounds out the first half a dozen cars. He's got Annette Francis close up behind him. I think that could be Shane Reynolds, the next on the pack, although one working around the outside of him, I believe, is Stacey Thompson. Oh, trouble in front of me for Laurie Ottaway. Gets tagged by one of the competitors going through. He's been called to get out of the way, and he obliges as well, so the race continues. 22 of David Madolo, our race leader, in the top corner. Still being hunted down hard by Lee Stephens in car 79. A rapid single file behind them. 3 cars are the only ones who can get up with these front runners, I think. From the bottom corner, David Madolo, our race leader. Lee Stephens in second position. Car 69 of Rodney Schleusner hanging on to third position from Travis Hutchison and then Todd Kite. They're the only ones who can get up towards the front, I believe, as the laps continue to tick down. Stacey Thompson doing the best of the rest over Shane Reynolds. Then will come car number 66 of Annette Francis. Our front runner mixing it with the back markers now. Number 28 of Gary Negus has got our race leader going by and putting one lap on him. The checkered flag now coming down. 22 is home. That's David Madolo. 69, Rodney Schleusner may be given second, I think. One of the next to finish. Brendan Kelly is at the other end of proceedings at the moment. Now moving up towards the second row on the outside. He's in car 16. Car 81 is Chantel Barbala. The inside of the third row. We've also got 76 and 88, Ben Ryland in car 76. And Matthew Swarbrick driving car 88. Jessica Raymond, the one in control at the moment. Matthew Swarbrick, the main danger, coming down the outside as they complete their first lap. Car 16 is Brendan Cowley from the Sunshine Coast in position 3 as Matthew Swarbrick gets around the outside of Jessica Raymond and takes over the front running position. Chantel Barbala, car 81, is at the tail. That'll leave Ben Ryland there in second last place at the moment, although Ben Ryland trying to take on Jessica Raymond in the main straight, drawing up level with the car 30 and motoring by as they went around the top corner. Jessica Raymond fighting back on the inside as Ben Ryland runs out of track in turn 2. He'll be regrouping from the rear. Up the front though, car 88 of Matthew Swarbrick is making it a two-horse event at the moment with Brendan Cowley a couple of lengths behind. They're the two cars in the back straight. Then there were 6. Away we go again, car 88. Matthew Swarbrick, he'll be able to keep his race lead. Brendan Cowley is the one behind him, the extra competitor. Brendan Horitz, Maryborough 28, not making a big fist of it at the moment as he coasts around turn 2. The others come around towards me. Matthew Swarbrick and Brendan Cowley in positions 1 and 2. Jessica Raymond in position 3 with Chantel Barbara behind. Car 76 of Ben Ryland is in 5th position. Well, we gave Brendan Horitz a chance, but he's lasted less than half a lap. He's on the infield, so it's as we were for event 9. Matthew Swarbrick still can't shake off Brendan Cowley. Those two halfway down towards the bottom corner. Position 3, Jessica Raymond has a mortgage on that at the moment, but Chantel Barbara closing right up as they come out of turn 4. Also handily positioned Ben Ryland in the Gippy 76. So positions 3, 4 and 5 very close, and also up the front, Brendan Cowley closing in on Matthew Swarbrick. Brendan Cowley selecting the outside line as they came down to turn 3. He now switches to the inside, but Matthew Swarbrick knows that trick, and with 2 laps to go, Matthew Swarbrick hangs on to his race lead by a length or so from Brendan Cowley. These two youngsters certainly making a fist of it as they come down to the bottom corner. They'll get the white flag this time around. Jessica Raymond still in the placings. Position 4, well, it was going to be car 76 of Ben Ryland, but that's changed quickly as Chantel Barbara moves through from behind the race. Well, Matthew Swarbrick and Brendan Cowley will be positions 1 and 2. I'd say Jessica Raymond will be safe in 3rd place. I think we'll this time that Brendan Horitz will not be joining us in round 2 of the juniors. A late arrival for the first round for the juniors tonight. So it's a race in 5. Up the front, Chantel Barbara was the one in control for a moment, but Matthew Swarbrick done something about that. Car 88 quickly away in position 1. Jessica Raymond having some trouble with the car 30. Yellow lights. Chantel Barbara losing out to Matthew Swarbrick in turn 1 on the first attempt for this event. See if Matthew Swarbrick can repeat the dose as they get the green light. And yes, Matthew Swarbrick, maybe a bit better power to weight ratio in car 88, sees it clear of the field within the first corner. Chantel Barbara in the 2nd position has got Brendan Cowley not too far behind her. Jessica Raymond in position 4 and Ben Ryland clinging on to the end of this single file as they make their way up the main straight. Matthew Swarbrick is the one with the room behind him out in front. Chantel Barbara goes up a little bit high, and Brendan Cowley tries to move through on the inside. It takes him a while to get by. First half of the car is clear of Chantel Barbara. A little bit of help possibly coming his way from Jessica Raymond has catapulted Brendan Cowley through into 2nd place. Chantel Barbara in 3rd place with Jessica Raymond in 4th, and then Ben Ryland making up the junior field. Of course, they're all chasing Matthew Swarbrick, who exits turn 4. He chalks up one more lap at the front of the field. Position 2, still Brendan Cowley. An equal distance behind will be car 81 of Chantel Barbara. Ben Ryland right on her hammer as they head for the top corner. And Jessica Raymond not out of it yet either. She's in 5th position, but only about 2 or 3 lengths behind the 3rd place competitor. Well, Matthew Swarbrick, it might be a matter of how much can he win this one by. A big margin between him and Brendan Cowley, and an even bigger gap between Brendan Cowley and the trio fighting out the minor placing into the top corner. Meanwhile, 1 lap to go for young Matthew Swarbrook. Brendan Cowley safe in second. I don't know who'll get third place at the moment. Chantel Barbara is the one who's in the box seat, but Ben Ryland is working pretty furiously around the back of car 81. Jessica Raymond dropping back a little bit now in turn 2 as the flag falls for Matthew Swarbrook. Car 88 is home, as is Brendan Cowley in 16. We look to the bottom corner. Ben Ryland trying to muscle Chantel Barbara out of the way and hasn't quite done it. Car 81 of Chantel Barbara has just lasted ahead of Ben Ryland and Jessica Raymond. It's on the front row. Chantel Barbara and Matthew Swarbrook is possibly the form driver in the juniors tonight. They're starting out of gates 3 and 4. Jessica Raymond on the inside of the third row. Brendan Cowley on the outside. No waiting and no delay for our junior street sedans. Ben Ryland covers his tracks in position 1. One coming through on the inside is Chantel Barbara looking for second place. Like Matthew Swarbrook, well, looked threatening there for a moment in car 88, now dropping back marginally. He'll regroup and have another go as Ben Ryland completes that lap. 28 of Brendan Horace in second place. Chantel Barbara running a competitive third for the moment alone. Matthew Swarbrook has another look down the inside as he goes out of turn 2. Brendan Cowley in position 5. Oh, gives the wall a pretty hard old rap and runs along the fence also. That won't do Brendan Cowley's car all that much good, but he's back up to racing again. Also with there, Jessica Raymond is one from the rear of the field as Brendan Cowley goes by, but he's infield bound. Car 16 calls this event off. Ben Ryland continues on his way, edging closer as they come out of turn number 4 is Brendan Horace. A half a length separating those two cars as they disappear towards the top corner. Car 81 of Chantel Barbara. Great view of the action in front from her cockpit. She's got to cover her tracks now, though, as Matthew Swarbrook and also Jessica Raymond. Well, Jessica Raymond didn't have much place to go there. I think that Chantel Barbara might have been wobbling towards the infield as Jessica Raymond came through. Well, Matthew Swarbrook, I believe, has been put rear of the field in the final wrap-up for event 33. 6. The outside of the third row, that could be Cameron Clee. The inside of him in position 5. 39 is Gordon Madolo, will be starting from gate 7. Frank Packer, I think, is our back marker in car 21. And also 83 of Craig Harm has got lots of work to do. The race underway now with Brendan Bayfield pulling away from Peter Bagley. Brendan Bayfield, the first one to the bottom corner in the new car number 51. Almost getting a little bit too much tail end swing there, but tucks it in nicely, and he'll lead us through our first lap. Peter Bagley in the second position with Paul Redmond up there in third position. Neil Caldoulis, I think that might be in car 6 in position 4. Might be Craig Mellor, I think the one behind them. There's car 16 of Craig Mellor running in 5th position. Then 39 is Gordon Madolo. A break in the fill back to Craig Campbell in the car 8. He's got 83 of Craig Harm trying to find a way through, and now threading the needle. Craig Harm breaks free of the shackles, and he sets out in pursuit of these 6 cars coming by me now, still being led by Brendan Bayfield. Peter Bagley in position 2, car 72 of Paul Redmond running pretty well in third place at the moment. A couple of yellow cars behind him, including Neil Caldoulis in the car number 6, and then Craig Mellor. He's in position 5. The other one up with them is Gordon Madolo's car 39. Still that break in the traffic back to Craig Harm. One further adrift is Frank Packer in 21. Craig Campbell will be next, followed by car 5 of Cameron Clee. And one back of the rear is Rob Leif. Fully 6 cars at the front still have it all between them. One being tagged out there is Neil Caldulis. He spins towards the infield, so then there were 5 in this leading bunch of cars. In fact, our 3 place getters moving away just marginally from those behind. Craig Mellor can't quite go with them at the moment. Back in 4th position with only 2 laps to go. Gordon Modolo back in position 5, also dropping away. It's developing into a race between 3. The one going through there is Paul Redmond. He's got by Brendan Bayfield with about a lap and a half to go. Peter Bagley is the other one with them, but now they're dropping back into the clutches of a couple of cars behind, including Craig Mellor and also Gordon Modolo. Only 1 lap to go left in the event as Paul Redmond pins his ears back and sets his sights on the checkered flag. He's coming down now to turn number 3. Brendan Bayfield is trying to hold Peter Bagley behind. Meanwhile, 72 has won it. So Paul Redmond has taken out the event from Brendan Bayfield. 3rd place will go to Peter Bagley in car 14. The next one home, I believe, would have been Craig Mellor, followed by Gordon Modolo. Craig Harm will be the one starting beside him. Up the front though, Rob Lath starting from the outside of the front row. That could be Cameron Clee. Gippy 5 on the front row. Don't think we're going to have much time to check them out before the race gets underway. As the green light is with us now. Further back in the field by towards side of Peter Bagley in the car 14. He had a pretty good run in his first round tonight. Cameron Clee in Gippy 5 still showing them the way down the back straight. Craig Mellor in 2nd place and Rob Lath hanging hard on to 3rd as Craig Harm tries to move up on the inside of him. Peter Bagley is also ready to pounce. In fact, Peter Bagley switching to the inside now has got by Robbie Lath and takes him up high to the boards. Another one following him through is Gordon Modolo in car 39. 51 of Brendan Bayfield. Back in the thick of things in about 7th or 8th position. As they come down towards the bottom corner, it's getting pretty close up the front. Cameron Clee moves over and Craig Mellor pokes his nose down on the inside. He moves through now into position 1. Craig Harm has fought his way by Peter Bagley and moved himself up into 3rd position. Peter Bagley back in 4th, followed by Gordon Modolo in position 5. That's not safe by a long chalk as hard on his hammer is the car 21 of Frank Packer. 2 laps to go in the event. A rapid single file between positions 3 and about 8 or 9. Not much at all between them, but out the front, slowly but surely, Craig Mellor is getting the upper hand. He's got a handy break with just 1 lap to go. Cameron Clee in 2nd position, followed by Craig Harm. Peter Bagley would love to get up into the placings. He's back there in 4th place at the moment, followed by Gordon Modolo. But the checkered flag is waving in front of me and it belongs to Craig Mellor. Car 16 has won this event from Cameron Clee in 2nd place. Craig Harm will just hang on to lead Peter Bagley across the line. Then will be Gordon Modolo finishing in position 5. One of the yellow cars out there, that's number 72, forming up on the 4th row. Peter Bagley from the tail of the field. Away we go now, Frank Packer up towards the top corner in position 1, using every bit of the track as well. Craig Harm in car 83 right behind him. Another one coming up is Gordon Modolo, touching the back of Craig Harm's car and then the wall. Continues on his way as he arrives at the bottom corner in 3rd position. One further behind him will be Craig Mellor in car 16. 72 is Paul Redmond, followed by car 51, which is Brendan Bayfield. Rob Lath will be next, then Peter Bagley. Car 8 is Craig Campbell. He's one from the rear of the field. And the car number 5 of Cameron Clee will be our back marker at the moment. As at the other end of proceedings, Frank Packer continues on his way. We've got a couple of lengths over Craig Hum in second position. Order Madolo still in position 3 to the better of Craig Mellor. The pace a little bit off as they find their way around the bottom corner. We go back there to position 5. It's Paul Redmond in car 72. Brendan Bayfield's had a bit of trouble with turn 4. He's limping around towards the main straight and now decides to pick up a bit of pace. Comes out on the track just behind Cameron Campbell, or Craig Campbell's car 8. Gee, things are getting close at the front. A big bunch of cars up the chute now. The main straight, big lead, still by Frank Packer. Craig Hum still sticking to his tail, within a car length now as they think about the back straight. Craig Mellor in position 3. He's got ahead of Gordon Madolo. Peter Bagley looking for a way around the outside and borrowing a bit of the fence to help him in that endeavour. On the inside of him is Paul Redmond in car 72. Somewhere in that thick of things there is Cameron Clee in car 5, now being pushed out of the way by Peter Bagley. Being claimed left, right and centre is Cameron Clee. He's let these 6 front runners get by and the race goes on. The checkered flag in fact is out. Frank Packer will win it from car 83 of Craig Hum. Gordon Madolo will finish in 3rd position. Then will be Paul Redmond, followed by Craig Mellor. And furious laps it's going to be. Just starting from the rear of this field, you've only got 6 laps to do something about it. He's the one with the luxury of a pole position. Very important in a 6-lap race. Brad Hilda goes by me at the moment. Tony Wynn, car 81 on his outside. He's no slouch either. Scott Goulet moves up now onto the 2nd row. Pulls in front of Darren Farmo. I think that could have been 51 of Wayne Randall on the outside of row 2. The first of 6 about to come your way as Brad Hilda pulls into position 1. Tony Wynn in the fluorescent yellow car 81 moves up into 2nd place. Behind him car 2 of Scott Goulet. He's the one in position number 3, although he moves over wide. And I think that could be Darren Farmelo in car 72 who's put down through on the inside of him. So Darren Farmelo, he's the one who's improved at the moment. Scott Goulet back into 4th position. Car 33 is Jim Gallagher. He's rounding out position 5 as our race leader goes a little bit high in turn 3. Car 28 of Brad Hilda slipping up, but maintaining his race lead. Car 81 of Tony Wynn. He looks like he's got the bit between the teeth. Moves up very completely now behind our race leader as they come down to the bottom corner again. It's still Brad Hilda from Tony Wynn. Position 3 behind them will be Darren Farmelo, followed by Scott Goulet. Jim Gallagher will be next, followed by Wayne Randall in car 51. A little bit of a break back to Scott Hart in the car 59. Wayne Moller in 98 trying to work his way through forward. As is car 25 of Patrick Maroney, who's back there towards the tail of the field, going by me now. Car 29, not sure about the driver. The race continues though. Car 19, our back marker. Also, he's going through a big lap. There's a bit of problem there for Brad Hilda. He misses out in turn 4 and he's back at about 2nd or 3rd position now. It looks like the Tony Wynn has taken over at the front. The white flag about to be taken by the field as Tony Wynn gets by car 19. Brad Hilda's runner's being checked in front of me and trying to get by the back marker. He succeeds now. Jim Gallagher in car 33 moves through also, but the flag has fallen. The checkered flag, well, coming down now, will possibly a lap ago. Need to speak to you in the tower as soon as we can, please. Car 51 of Wayne Randall, one I haven't mentioned already. He's hurrying around to catch up with the pack. So we've got 4 or 5 tidy lines coming towards me, being led by car 59 of Scott Hart. Our yellow light is out, so our start should be coming your way very soon. Wayne Moller out of position 4 also as we now let them go. 25 down the outside. Wayne Moller trying to go with him from the pack and just gets by. Car 59 of Scott Hart as they come up towards me now. It's Patrick Moroney from Wayne Moller and Scott Hart. Darren Farmo competing in 4th place at the moment. Bollinger back in about 6th or 7th position. He's in the thick of things at the moment, but Patrick Moroney's in the fresh air at the front. I don't think the car's running too quickly. One of them is the backfiring and could have been our race leader. He's now been pulled in by car number 98 of Wayne Moller. Wayne Moller coming up behind Patrick Moroney's car. Is not running smoothly. Scott Hart in position 3. 28 points next, that's Brad Hilda, who's now up into 4th position. Up the front, Wayne Moller and Patrick Moroney have swapped over. 59 on Scott Hart's 3rd position, number 3, followed by Wayne Hilda. Jim Bollinger back in 6th position as the white flag is coming out now. With these 6-lap events, there's not much time to think about it. Trouble for our race leader, Wayne Moller, down Patrick Moroney has blamed him. So Wayne Moller has now struck trouble. Patrick Moroney gets through to the race leader. He should be able to hold it from there. Patrick Moroney in the car 25 goes across the line. 59 and 28 will be in 2nd and 3rd position. Well, I thought it was Patrick Moroney's car, which was backfiring through the event. The way that Wayne Moller caught up to him on about lap 2 or 3, I thought that was the case. But then Wayne Moller lasted just a couple more laps. He's sitting down to... Healthy looking field of modified leaders. Scott Hart moves in beside Wayne Randall on the front row. I think we've got Darryl Martin's car 19, one of our additions. There, I think I saw him go by that time. Full yellow is still showing. They're getting a bit excited, but we won't be having a start. Well, if that's what they can do under a yellow light, imagine what they can do when it goes green. We'll find out pretty soon. Jim Gollinger and Patrick Moroney, that's a quality 2nd row. Darren Farmelow chiming in position 5. Some very worthy pedallers up towards the front part of this field, notably. The ones behind, no slouch either. The pace picks up now, and this time we'll let them go. 51 of the one right to hang on to Scott Hart, but unsuccessfully. Oh, trouble in the field. Oh, one going through on the inside. How did he fit through? Could have been Terry Jorgen. Quite sure if Wayne Randall and Scott Hart have reclaimed their front row position. Bollinger and Patrick Moroney will be a danger from the 2nd row. Darren Farmelow in position 5. The pace picks up. We let them go now. Tony Wynn and car 81 also in position 3. He's one of the ones in trouble, but one flipping over. Oh, Tony Wynn, I think, might have been the one who might have come in contact with the competitor that's rolled over in the top corner. Tony Wynn is also in contact with another competitor in turn 2. The pace picks up. We let them go now. Tony Wynn and car 81 also in position 3. He's one of the ones in trouble, but one flipping over. Oh, Tony Wynn, I think, might have been the one who might have come in contact in that last event, but the same can't be said for the machinery. Tony Wynn running off beside his car and holding the front inside wheel basically in place. That beautiful car 28. Now the front and the top wings have been a bit rearranged, hopefully not too much more damage. Brad Hilda having a look at the circuit from the inverted position. Luckily has been uninjured in the accident. I expect our street sedan and super street trophies will be awarded on the number of points scored in the rounds earlier on. For Brad Hilda, car 28 is our pole sitter for the modified Litres. Man who ended up on his roof earlier on tonight is back there for more. Patrick Moroney. Darren Farmelo in car 72 has separated our two front runners. At the front, Brad Hilda has consolidated in position 1. Darren Farmelo has got between Moroney and Gallagher in the third position, and then Scott Hartley, car 59, is back in position 5 at the moment as they settle down in single file. One going out a bit wide is Scott Hart. Car 2. Behind is Wayne Randall in car 51. He's in about 7th position. As they come around towards me again, 28 of Brad Hill in front, but one in trouble on turn number 3, facing the wrong way around in round 3. And doing his best to hold the others behind him, including Patrick Moroney, who's in position 3. Darren Farmelo coming to life in the second position. Jim Gallagher, the Repco car, in the position 4 as we let them go again. Speedway and the Wayne Randall running behind that field. Still unaltered after they jump from the restart, although very tightly bunched at the front. Brad Hilda jumping right to this question now, right to the shore on the inside, but unsuccessfully at this stage. So Darren Farmelo sits back behind Brad Hilda again, one making a big move down the outside and trying to go the whole way around. Now goes on the wide, and Patrick Moroney is 25. Tries to come down on the inside. Those two cars side by side as they come to the bottom corner. Just fingers to in front. There's Jim Gallagher. So Jim Gallagher up to third place now. He's got Darren Farmelo inside. He moves over wide. Not enough drive there as Darren Farmelo moves over wide also. And they're all lining up for a go at our race leader, which is still Brad Hilda. Brad Hilda. Now comes the challenge of Jim Gallagher. Around the outside he goes. Jim Gallagher, our new race leader in the Repco car, throwing a few sparks from car 33 as well as he went around the bottom corner that side. Will be next back in the 5th position, and then Wayne Randall rounds out the first half of the cars. We're not far from a white flag as Jim Gallagher goes sidetrack by him. Jim Gallagher, a couple lap from home, still a few sparks coming from
the rear of car 33, but he'll see it out from there. Jim Gallagher has taken the checkered flag in the modified leader feature. The second one home will be Brad Miller. I think Patrick Moroney has got up to pitch third position. I think you'll find Patrick Moroney finished in third. Also up there with them was Scott Goulet in the car 2. Not far off the pace either was Wayne Randall finishing possibly 5th position. 33, 28 and 25 I'd say will be the finishing places. Ken Newton in car 44, as I told you earlier on tonight, after a year of absence from the Speedway circuit, makes his return. Car looks beautifully prepared. Black car 44 on the outside of the third row as they line up. Should be Matt Jordan in car 58. Wayne Williams on the outside of the front row. Kevin Baird in car 8, trying to come around hard from the second row, as will Trevor Anderson. As we let the formulas go, car 44 of Ken Newton, not wasting any time. The only one in front of him may be Trevor Anderson, I think. In the car 24, I'd say Trevor Anderson is our race leader at the moment. Ken Newton throwing caution to the wind in 44 in second position. Car 58 of Matt Jordan in third place. Wayne Williams bounces out towards the board. And one going around the fence in second last place also. Not quite sure who that was. We'll stick with them up the front. Trevor Anderson, followed by Ken Newton. There in 1 and 2 there towards the top corner. Third position is still Matt Jordan. Hard and fast they go. Grant Chandler is back at about 5th or 6th position now. He's dropping back through the field after running at about 4th. As they came by me that time around, our two front runners in towards the top part of our track. Car 58 of Matt Jordan still in third position. He's being harassed by Kevin Baird in the car number 8. Kevin Baird running 4th place at the moment. A Subaru. Car 24 of Trevor Anderson. 44 of Ken Newton there down the back chute. The others come by me now, being led by Matt Jordan. Car 60. Another one running pretty hard around the outside, looking for third position. With 2 laps to go, still Trevor Anderson, followed by Ken Newton. We look to the bottom corner, and third place still being held by Alan Gibson, car 60. The white flag taken now by Trevor Anderson. Ken Newton a few laps behind. They're heading towards the back straight for the final time. Car 60 of Alan Gibson in position 3, followed by Kevin Baird. Coming down now, Trevor Anderson rapidly home in our first look at the 500 event for the night. Ken Newton welcomes his return with a second place. Third place will go to car 60. I think that's Alan Gibson behind the wheel, although he was scheduled to be coming out in our next event. Rod Lamprey giving that new engine a bit of curry on the formation lap. He's caught up to the tail now. Should have Dennis Mahoney and possibly Nathan Pronger on the front row. That's the way it is as we get going. And it's Pronger senior, Pronger the first one to the top corner. Nick Pronger in the car 2. Nathan Pronger could be the one going with him, I think. We peer out through the exhaust fumes. Nick Pronger in position 1, Nathan Pronger in 2, Dennis Mahoney position 3, one slowing down, could be Peter Klaus, I think, in the car 22, just got out of the way as the pack came through behind him. He'll be rejoining at the rear of the field. The two Pronger cars in positions 1 and 2. Dennis Mahoney running a pretty competitive third place at the moment. Those 3 cars have pulled away from the rest of the pack. Peter Klaus trying to struggle to make up ground after spinning out a lap or so ago. Our first 3 cars are up towards the top corner. Our third place car at the moment, car 85, is Gary Edwards. A little bit of a break between him and Dan Murray in car 49. He's running at about 5th or 6th position. But our 2 Pronger cars, Vic Pronger in 42 and Nathan Pronger in 43.
top corner now with 1 lap to go. Car 94, David Van Baldry on well, and Murray in 49. The checkered flag down now for Mick Ronga. 42 has won it from car 43 of Nathan Ronga. 12 will be the next one home. That's the Dennis Mahoney. Our front row is now complete. Brent Chandler and Ken Newton. Ray Mayfield on the outside of the second row. The yellow light flashing should change to green. Away we go now. Alan Gibson and Trevor Anderson starting out on the 3 and 5. Trevor Anderson a little bit of trouble getting grip on this wet surface, but no trouble for Ken Newton. The black car 44 skates away from them at the moment. Just one able to go with them as we got a spin on the bottom corner. That was Ray Mayfield in car 88 who was up with our front runner, but 2 of them have come unstuck. Dixon, I think, might be the one lurking up the inside. Car 24. Murray Gibson, car 19. The late arrival at the circuit tonight. Back there further in the pack as they clear for traction. Once again, Ken Newton and Ray Mayfield doing the best job of that. Trevor Anderson in car 24, I believe, the one running in the 3rd position. As they come around to complete that first lap, Ken Newton and Ray Mayfield are by me. Trevor Anderson, car 8 of Kevin Baird in position 4. The yellow light coming on as one of them slipped up on the bottom corner, was then able to get going again. But the yellow light to the tail of the others. The green light coming on quickly once again. Ken Newton has seen it. Car 24 is Trevor Anderson. Can't quite come to grip. Ray Mayfield with the big three at the front will be unchanged as they set out once again. Ken Newton to the bottom corner. In 44, Ray Mayfield in 88. These two moving away at the moment from Trevor Anderson, who can't now be making earlier on. Kevin Baird in car 8, dropping back one place now. He's into a big position. Further back behind them, Matt Jordan and also Murray Gibson. He's getting pretty close up the front with 44 and 8 as they get up towards the top corner. The car 19 of Murray Gibson is challenging Trevor Anderson for a 3rd position. Now back marker, Matt Jordan in the car 58. Going out of turn 2 and into turn 2 goes Ken Newton and Ray Mayfield, 44 and 88 down there towards the bottom corner. Murray Gibson in car 19, I think, has got by Trevor Anderson with 1 lap to go, and Murray Gibson is up to the 3rd place. Trevor Anderson in position 4 as they collect the white flag now. One further behind them is the car 8 of Kevin Baird. The checkered flag about to come down. I think Ken Newton will be the first one to it. Ken Newton completes the journey now. Ray Mayfield in the 2nd position. 3rd place as they come from the bottom corner will go to car 19 of Murray Gibson. Close to 4th and 5th, Trevor Anderson will just get there ahead of Kevin Baird. Brent Chandler completing the journey now will be one of the last ones home. The increased expenses, especially with the public liability insurance, which has gone through the roof over the last couple of months. And all speedways finding it very, very hard to make ends meet. With support like this, certainly appreciate you coming out here tonight. Hope you're enjoying all this racing, including the Formula 500. Peter with us again. Peter Cloud, Matt Selke in car 34 was in the 2nd position. I think he's still there, although one competitor trying to move through on the inside. Peter Klaus and Matt Selke should see us through lap number 1 in 1st and 2nd place. It's Eddie Swaler. And the car 59 with the main challenger up here on the front row of the grid. Peter Klaus, Ed car 22 still showing with the way as they come down to the bottom corner for the second time. 6 laps is the distance for this event. Matt Selke still in second place. Car 42 has made his way through up into a third position. The front two still unchanged, Peter Klaus and Matt Selke. 42 is Mick Ronga. Moving up on the inside of Matt Selke. Over those 3 cars as they get off once again to the back part of our circuit. Eddie Swaler, I think he's just out of a place in position 4. The pace comes off just marginally in the bottom corner as Mick Ronga closes in on Peter Klaus. He's got by Matt Selke. Eddie Swaler closing up on them also in the 4th position. But Mick Ronga, winner of his first round tonight, he's out there in front now in car 42. Peter Klaus and Matt Selke can't quite go with him. Car 94 of David Fanning, I think you'll find he's running in about the 5th position at the moment as the checkered flag waves in front of me. And Mick Ronga rapidly completing this race. 22 and 34, Peter Klaus and Matt Selke will finish in the 2nd and 3rd position. David Fanning, I think, has finished in 5th place. So event 34, heat 1 of round 3 for our formulas. I think you'll find that's Ray Mayfield. Car 88 on the inside of the front row. Anyone's guess who most of the rest are. They're pretty hard to pick up from that side. Ken Newton is the one from the tail in car 44. We'll catch them up as they go around, hopefully. Car 58 of Matt Gordon Monster in the front row with Ray Mayfield. He's jumped out of the box the best. Ray Mayfield quickly to the bottom corner in position 1. And a long way between him and the second place car after 1 lap. Part of a section of Alan Gibson is our second place contender. Alan Gibson in the second place, but a long way adrift of Ray Mayfield, who's got car 88 well and truly on song at the moment. Third position will be Trevor Anderson, car 19 of Murray Gibson, running in 4th at the moment. But as the race continues, this lead continues to grow for Ray Mayfield. Car 88 in the top corner now. He's leading Alan Gibson and Trevor Anderson in his place. They're in positions 2 and 3. From the bottom corner, car 88 with a couple of laps left. Ray Mayfield. 60 of Alan Gibson in second place. Trevor Anderson also up there in the placing. 5 minutes of over comes car 114 of Frank Chandler. He's back in about 5th or 6th position. Also running hard. Matt Jordan in car 58. But from the bottom corner, very soon you'll see our race leader Ray Mayfield appear. The white flag has now been drawn to in place by the checkered flag. And Ray Mayfield is home. I think you'll find that's a pretty rapid time. From the bottom corner, Alan Gibson and Trevor Anderson will finish in 2nd and 3rd position. So 88, 60 and 24 will be our place getters for event 34. Is out there also with car 85 of Gary Edwards. Could be Nathan Pronga. It's up there towards the outside of the second row, I think, if that's car 43. Mick Pronga in 42, also one to watch. Peter Klaus should be the red car 22 back towards the rear. He's trying to make a rapid start up the outside. And also car 98 of Rod Landry running in his new engine tonight. He's back there at the rear of the field. Doesn't take long for them to complete their first lap. And it's car 59 of Eddie Swaler, who's leading David Fanning at the moment to the top corner. Eddie Swaler and David Fanning running 1 and 2 as they come around for the second lap. Those 2 cars by me now with the 2 strongest cars, Nathan Pronga the track in car 85. We'll pick up our fifth place car as they come around this leading bunch of cars, certainly getting closer as they get towards the top corner. It's Gary Edwards in position 5, followed by car 49 of Nick Murray. A few cars behind, I think, being led by Peter Tass and car 22, but we'll stick with this front bunch of cars. It's still Eddie Swallow, followed by David Tass. The two Bronco cars like Ed Martin swapping over. Big Bronco right now be ahead of Nathan Bronco, but with a lap and a half to go. Eddie Swallow still clinging to this race lead from David Banning. Those two cars hit the line now. Big Bronco and Nathan Bronco is 3 and 4, and Big Bronco horns them in with a half a lap to go. Car 49. Again, Murray doing the best of the others. A big finish now coming Big Bronco's way, but he won't catch Eddie Swallow. Eddie Swallow and Big Bronco will be 1 and 2. I think David Fanning has lasted to take our third position. Big Bronco pretty hard to catch, I would say, from this front position. Eddie Swallow was able to see him off in the previous race tonight. We'll see who's the stronger out of those two, and someone else has come from the crowd, including Ray Mason and car 43 of Nathan Bronco up there towards the front of this big field of formulas. Big Bronco, though, is the one who takes over at the front. There's car 42, Eddie Swallow and Nathan Bronco are followed by here are top 5 cars as they set out for our 12-lap journey. And even at this stage, Big Bronco running away from them. Another one improving is the car number 92. Oh, for David Banning. He's up into about 5th or 6th position, but still Big Bronco continues to work away in the lead. David Banning up to the 4th place now as the Ray Mason, the 52 of the action. Banning pulls on to the infield. Car 58 of Matt Jordan already in the sight of the race leader who takes it on the side. So Big Bronco with a little bit of traffic over now. Turn number 4. Big Bronco towards the top part of our circuit. Eddie Swallow and Nathan Bronco will be in position 2 and 3. Car 94. Here's for David Banning. David Banning running just out of the place at the moment. Don't believe there. 58 with 1 left down, so Matthew Dodson and Trevor Anderson will be the next one on the track. Then I think it might be Gary Edwards. The formula's spread out over almost the entire lap. Big Bronco in car 42, I think you'll find his race leader. Oh, one going high to the board there is the car race running on the marble. Tucked it in nicely, going to continue on his way. Nathan Bronco still behind Eddie Swallow in the top part of our circuit, but Big Bronco, we look for our race leader going by me now. So Big Bronco about 1 the lap to the better of the rest of the field. The yellow light on now. Oh, one at a side down the back chute. One car eyeing on the side. How quickly going their way. Didn't see the incident occur. A Big Bronco in car 42 pulling up in front of me now. He'll be restarting from position 1. Eddie Swallow, meanwhile, is holding off the attentions, so they will be the 3-place getters. Our numbers will be 42, 59 and 53.